I forgot to mention he real humble too. So I can tell people like that. I feel it.
I feel it.
Real humble, man.
Y'all got stories.
We all got stories, man. So it's how life goes, you know what I mean? Just find motivation from each other, over time. Make stuff shake.
You said what?
Make stuff shake.
Okay, so
Yeah. I ain't gonna hold it. I got like two more people said they was sliding. One dude running a little late, so I was thinking we just kind of politic for a bit until then. You know what I mean? Thanks for pulling up. You feel me? Great to see y'all. You know what I mean? All the time. You feel me? So what I was planning on doing is I got the camera, get some video stuff like that. Got a little mic we can pass around too. I'm a clip. Actually, no. We just passed this one around for now. The other one's dead. I thought it was charged, but it played me. So we just gonna go with the one mic for now, and then just kind of see how conversation go from that. You know what I mean? But I guess I was gonna do maybe some basic. I'm gonna move over here too. Just basic, I guess conversation stuff, right? Why did y'all pick y'all favorite snack? Yeah, it gotta be too deep. The origin story.
Right, yeah.
It's
The way it melts with the peanut butter and just
it hits your palate.
yeah. I mean, like, bro, is there a better combination in the food world than chocolate and peanut butter? Is there? I don't know.
So y'all on the same wavelength then.
Like, is there not, like, I feel like chocolate is great, and I feel like peanut butter is great, but I feel like that combination is
has
just
a perfect
different.
blend too, though, because I've tried imitations and they just make it
Fact, no facts. Like, you go to Meyer got these peanut butter cups, trash. It's terrible. I don't know who chocolate that is.
Sometimes
Wait,
too
hold
much
on.
peanut butter, they put too much in the middle like that. I don't know.
Wait, which one is that?
There's like just different, like people make different
Just like
ones.
off-brand
I don't remember
ones?
the name of it.
It wasn't good enough.
I love
Just-
peanut butter, so I can.
Now that's
for
deep
me-
though. Hold on, what you just said is pretty deep. I don't take time to remember the name because it was a copy of it that wasn't as good.
But I mean,
Okay, hold
Hold
on.
on, we already we cooking.
you know what? Yeah, I admit that.
It's good. I mean, yeah.
I mean, things that aren't memorable don't last. You know.
Okay, he's trying to
He
get
really he going there now. He
Now
going
he
there now. But yeah, that combination fire, and it's just like he said, Reese's. I don't know what Reese's did, but they did it right, and not everybody else can repeat that.
Ooh,
I don't know what it is, bro.
Say that again, man.
I'm gonna just. This is crazy. We getting deep over candy.
I wasn't even trying to.
This don't compare to nothing that Frank just said. But all I'm saying is that Reese's did what they did, and I don't know what they did, but they did it right. And other people just, you can tell what they trying to do, but they just not getting it. They just not getting it there, bro. I'm not even big on drinking Coke, but it's like people love Coca-Cola. RC Cola not about to do it for me. I'm not gonna say RC Cola is not good. It don't do it for me because it feels like you trying to do something that somebody else did.
Yeah.
Versus like just doing your own thing. I don't know.
That's deep.
All over some Reese's.
Pass it to Frank. See what he said again.
Wait, what I
Run
say?
that back. We said somebody not being memorable or
Yeah, sometimes memorable experiences last longer because they're memorable. So like if you give an imitation of something that ain't good, you're not gonna go back to it. That's as simple as that. I mean, what else? I'm on the spot.
Wow.
But yeah. So yeah, Team Reese's for sure.
Team Reese's in the event. Wow, I didn't know Reese's was that life changing. To be honest with you, I've gained a new insight just off of that. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I'm like I've grown to love Reese's. I usually love Hershey's more though. Wait, why are y'all so reaction the same? Are y'all the same? See, this is why I asked the question, because maybe the candy type tells a lot about the individual. Like y'all really side at the same time.
Yeah, it's just chocolate.
That's the beauty of it.
What? Look, I love. Hey, bro, I love Reese's. I love me some Reese's. But imagine if you just took a slab of perfect peanut butter, put it on the Reese. I mean, put it on the Hershey. Your experience gonna go from here to here.
And then somebody right now just heard what you said and was like, Hershey with it. I might do that.
They're going to get the peanut butter right now while they're watching. They finna go get this scoop right now.
Right now. And they go right. He's right. It's just chocolate.
Well, they're gonna go buy Reese's.
I mean, but you think about it. There's more combinations you can do with Hershey's too, right? Like s'mores.
Okay.
Right.
S'mores cool.
You put Hershey's in hot chocolate. You know, it's Hershey's hot chocolate. But when it comes to Reese's, it's harder to find combinations. Not to combat it, but
You telling me like you wouldn't put a Reese's in a s'more?
I don't think so.
They make a Reese's bar.
You said they make it.
They make a Reese's bar. So imagine all that chocolatey goodness along with now that peanut buttery goodness. I hope it was. We going crazy. Just imagine. Well, shoot, you was what I was making a point to. But just imagine, you got that same. You know, s'mores are good, right? You love the. What's going on? What's the components of a s'more? You got the chocolate, right? The graham crackers. I'm sorry. You got the chocolate. You got the graham crackers.
Also got you fruit for you.
You got health as well. We're not talking about health at all.
She might got us beat.
Big time.
So shout out to Omni. She was the only one that requested fresh fruit and like pineapples and all that. You feel me? So give her a round of applause.
I love that for you. Because we had Reese's, Oreos, and honey buns.
You feel me?
But think about a s'more, right? You got the chocolate, the graham cracker, and all that. You know what I'm saying? Just add peanut butter to a s'more, it'll change your life.
So, and okay, just for context, everybody, this is Avani. You feel me? This is my brother Frank. This is my guy Bryce, Caleb. My name is Rome, as you guys probably know. Hopefully you would if you came to my house a couple times. You feel me? But we're talking about. I just asked him, "What's your favorite snack and why?" We wasn't really trying to get deep with it, but then they kind of broke it down really well about how they both team Reese's apparently. I didn't even notice about my own brother too. But Reese's, they have the peanut butter and chocolate combination that's so distinct. And anybody that tries to imitate it fails usually for some reason. Right? And they kind of got into this whole spiel about how you're being memorable, being distinct, being set apart. You can't be a copy of somebody else, right? You feel me? So it's a different taste. Yeah, I don't know. But I was debating if Hershey's, though, if you can do Hershey's just by itself, because I'm more Hershey's, right? And then it's talking about how just like if you just put the peanut butter on the Hershey's. But I feel like you can do more combinations with Hershey's. Like, would you want Hershey's? I mean, would you want peanut butter on Hershey's, no? Oh, you can't have nuts, period?
So I can't have nuts, period. So I'm allergic to nuts. So
Even like just nuts or like anything like that comes from a nut. Like so like the peanut butter as well?
correct. Correct.
Dang.
Yeah, so I can have the oil because the oil is separated from the protein. And that's why I can have like Chick-fil-A and things like that. But like I can't have but I can't have like I just can't have peanut butter. I can't have like crunchy, smooth, any of that. So I opted for sun butter because it's made from sunflower seeds. So my first time ever experiencing anything that would come close to a Reese's was like a sun butter chocolate cup. And that was interesting. Yeah, like it's not so I don't necessarily remember what peanut butter tastes like. We found out because I had a peanut butter and jelly, and that's how we found out that I was allergic to nuts. So the hard way.
Really bad reaction to it?
So actually, like I have multiple stories because we just didn't know. Like the first one, I was like in elementary school, and they gave us mixed nuts, and I would just remember my throat was scratchy, and I was like, I don't like this. So I'm just gonna like stay with. But like nobody really knew that this was an allergic reaction. And then my dad called me bougie because I was like, we don't eat peanut butter and jelly in this house, and he was just like. And he was like, well, you will today. And so
You don't tell that to a parent.
no.
Right.
And so he made me one, and then I threw it up. But he thought it was because I didn't like it, and later down the way, it was because like I was allergic to it. My most recent one that landed me in the hospital, where they like diagnosed me, was like a Chinese food. In case you didn't know, they cook with nuts in Chinese food. And so that one landed me in the hospital, and they were like, "Oh yeah, no, you're allergic to nuts," and I was like, 17 years, guys. So that's kind of like how we found out. I would just stay away. Like, I hate the smell of peanut butter. So I just stayed away from things that I don't like the smell of, like peas, peanut butter, like things I didn't like the smell of. I was never gonna try. So I hate to like say this, but like they can be unique. I'm not gonna take away from their uniqueness and like their ability to like stand out and be different. And be a trendsetter, because like I wouldn't have the opportunity to try a sun butter peanut butter cup thing, whatever, without like a Reese's. So like I love that, but also like they're not doing anything for me. Like as far as I'm aware, like they have nothing to offer me. And so yeah, I'm just in my little corner. I feel like that about coffee shops too. Like a lot of things are like pastries. Like they don't care if like it's not that they don't care, but they don't have the opportunity to operate with as much caution for people like me. So
Okay.
yeah,
So
yeah,
why was it excluding you?
yeah,
Dang.
yeah.
So Reese's is not inclusive.
Not, I mean, not. It's right. No, it's a peanut butter cup. So special circumstances for sure.
Is that a problem with Hershey's though? 'Cause
So
you-
no, so I love Hershey's Kisses
I didn't even say
because
I didn't even say that.
so
What if she's allergic to chocolate?
you know, or what if I was allergic to milk? Like I mean, it's just kind of like a
I'm
thing.
allergic to milk too.
So I mean,
What
but
about the Hershey with almonds in them?
oh, I can't have those.
Hershey do
So
it, though.
they
So-
Hershey's does do it.
Do they have
Hershey's.
an option without?
Correct. And whereas Reese's is like staked on being a Reese's
Staked
Puff,
on it,
Reese's
man.
Puff, like peanut butter cup, like it's staked on it.
I'm not trying to defend Reese's here.
Okay, are you sure?
I don't know.
I don't know how we got
It's
here.
okay.
That's how I get.
It's
I get to
like-
it.
It is the first question. It's the first question, and I haven't even really answered it. My favorite,
Was why did we pick our favorite snack?
oh, fruit because like how many times do you actively eat fresh fruits and veggies? Like how many times do you actually like actively eat like fresh fruits and veggies in your daily life? And so for me, it's not like I do a lot of like meal prepping. I do a lot of things that I can freeze and like thaw out for later. So I'm not always eating fresh things. I do like a frozen meal my damn self. Like I'll just like do things that are like I can just come home. I'm tired. I don't want to do anything. And so like if I have an opportunity to like snag an apple or like an orange, or I even like the little, I call them little snack packs, but they come with like carrots and like broccoli, yeah, with the little dip, yeah. Like how can I incorporate fresh, like just freshness into my day and into my diet? And so that's why I like fruit for me, or fresh veggies. So yeah, because I just know that like and our environment doesn't support it either. Like you can stop at a McDonald's, you can stop at a Chick-fil-A, it's gonna be like fried, butter, oil, fat, all of this, meat, cheese. Yeah, so that's all I'm trying to do. That's why that's my favorite snack, and it's just good. Like you all are welcome to have some too. Yeah, I'm gonna get into this, but you're welcome to have some as well. All right.
You know, so my only thing I'll be struggling, I guess, the only thing I'll be struggling with sometimes with fruit, because I love it, but I'll be like super hungry after it for some reason. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Like
Are you hungry prior? Yeah.
like did you eat? Like was this like were you approaching this like as a meal, or were you approaching this as like a snack?
it's a great question. I would say it's a combination. Like sometimes I'll be trying to snack on it. And then, so say I make a smoothie usually in the morning time too, right? Where I have, I don't know, I'm getting to my meal prep now too. I have pineapple chunks, blueberries, what else? Chia seeds, honey, peanut butter, all that in the smoothie. And then I consume that. You feel me? That's like my first thing of the day. You feel me? But I'll be having to supplement it with something else soon. And then throughout the day, if I try to use, like, say, some apples as a snack, for some reason it hurts my stomach. It's weird. I might be allergic to apples. I don't know. Said pollen.
So like pollen, the pollen protein, everybody's allergic to a protein. The pollen protein can live on fresh fruits and veggies, and then your body will react to that. The solution to that is to, well, first go get tested, but two, doctors will tell you to like boil your fruit to like kill the protein. I don't like warm fruit, so I'm never gonna do that.
Yes.
But I mean, I think the purpose is to just kill the protein. So if you could just do something quick, like 3 minute like hot bath for your fruits, then you might find that your body will react better to it. Because you're not the first person to say this to me.
Dang, that's deep.
Bring that knowledge. Shoot.
Oh shit, hold on. I should give you.
Oh dang. Summarize that in 2 sentences.
2 sentences. You're allergic to the protein of the pollen living on fresh fruit. The solution is to get tested and then boil the fruit. I recommend like a hot bath, 2-3 minutes. The goal is just to like kill the protein because your body is allergic to the protein of the pollen and not necessarily like the goodness of the fruit.
That's perfect. That's wild.
Also, I think in terms of like I always say this wrong, satiety, something like basically the feeling of being full, right?
The feeling of being full.
There we go.
That might be.
I think y'all know what we're trying to say. The feeling of being full, being satisfied, right? Mm-hmm. I want to say of all the macros, protein has like the biggest effect on that. Mm-hmm. So like, say you go eat. That's why like we can get all the Reese's in the world or all the fruit in the world. I mean, carbs can do an okay job of doing it, but that's like, say, like, you eating, like, peanuts, you probably won't have to eat it. That's hilarious. You don't, like, but, like, something like a protein source, like maybe some beans, something that has a lot of protein in it, you'll be able to eat it, not a whole bunch of it, and it should fill you up a little quicker and maybe a little better than, like, say you went and ate a whole bunch of, I don't know, like, grapes or, like, watermelon. Now, if I'm wrong, because maybe there's some new research out, let me know, but that's what I had always learn. I mean, we got a fitness guru right here, so I'm just saying. And you know what you put in your body. I can just tell by how you talking. So, but I'm pretty sure like more protein might help you get that feeling a little quicker. And I don't know if you want to like add a protein shake or anything, or if you add any kind of protein powder.
So I've been using powder. I've been using powder, but my wallet disagrees with it typically on a. So I've been trying to adjust my approach to it for a while now. I think it's a common issue around households in America. So it's been making a lot of decisions for me. But no, that's great. That's great information. Actually, I'm always trying to increase my health and protein intake. Before we move, we still got to hear from you, man. Why you pick your favorite snack and why, man?
I don't know. I saw that, and I don't know. The chips are always a vibe. I feel like you can kind of have them on the go. You might be running around, like just grab a quick bag of chips real quick, and like keep it going, or you may just grab a couple of them, just as a light little snack. So, and they got the.
So you keep going?
Yeah, no, you can be just like we kind of on the move, haven't like may have missed lunch, like just grab a quick little small bag, mess around, eat the whole bag, or like, like just moving, or or like just at the crib, just grab a couple, closing back up, like, which like in like the conversation, like listening to y'all, I'm like thinking about them, like. They last long, you don't got to worry about it for the most part. It may go stale, but, y'all welcome to these too, of course, So,
They used to go stale. I mean, it takes a long time for chips
Yeah.
to go stale.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a good thing.
Yeah, literally. You got to lead them boys out.
Yeah, so, that's really it. I ain't got the detail, like health, not the healthiest option, but like, yeah.
Well, I heard 3 different reasons for like why we chose our snacks, right? So for us, we just some peanut butter chocolate loving dudes. We love Reese's, right? For remind me your name, Albany. Okay, for Albany, it was more of a health selection, and then for Caleb, it was more of a convenience. This is what allowed me to keep my day going. So I just noticed that. Just 3 different reasons, valid reasons, but
Controversial. Okay.
I also don't. I absolutely hate Oreos. I don't like them. They're so bad, and people love them like cookies and cream. Correct. they're bad. Well, I didn't know
No,
that they
she
were
was talking
bad
about
for
the
you,
taste.
but
They're
they taste bad.
For you.
Like
Okay. I believe that for sure.
they're so bad.
Wait, why do you hate the taste of it?
Cause I feel like the filling is white chocolate and then the cookie is dark chocolate. I don't actually know. It doesn't taste good to me. It's not a good flavor combination to me. Like and people love it. People love it. Oh my god, cookies and cream milkshake. Oh my god, I'm gonna go here. Oh, we can't give Oreo any money, so we're just gonna call it cookies and cream. Like I hate it. It's not good. It's not good, bro. So, anyways, that's my controversial statement. It is very much passionate. It is. I'm so tired of everything being cookies and cream. Can you give me something different? Can the cookie dough risers like rise up? Like, please, man.
Cookie dough's fine.
Cookie dough is fire.
You like chocolate or you like white chocolate?
I just like milk chocolate. That's it. Hershey's.
Team Hershey's.
Yeah, it's top tier. That's my arguable fact.
But you said you don't remember how peanut butter tastes, right? And I'm not asking you to go try any.
If it tastes how
That segued into.
Thank God my allergy isn't bad. Like it took a whole plate of Chinese food for me to land in the hospital. It's not like one scoop and I was like done. Like I was hungry. I scarfed the whole thing and my body was like, yeah, well we can't get this out.
So we're going to the hospital.
We're going to the hospital.
Because we're finna make you feel this.
Yeah. If it
Okay.
tastes how it smells, I don't like it.
Do you think peanut butter tastes how it smells? I ain't gonna. I think it's pretty. I think it's pretty spot on to how it smells.
Yeah, I don't like it. It's something about it that just like like nah, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm actually okay. But I also so I'm clearly picky for somebody who's actually open to a wide variety of foods. I'm very particular about my flavors. I don't like a sweet and salty combo. I will never have a sweet and sour chicken. I will never do like a peanut butter and a jelly because I tried a sun butter and a jelly and I said, why didn't anybody tell me this was sweet and salty? Because I hate this.
So you like sea salt caramel. You're not going for it.
Why would anybody do that? Chocolate covered pretzels.
Hold on.
Finally, y'all
you-
disagree.
Hold on. So have you ever tried? I'm gonna throw it. Look, what have you ever? Have you ever tried sweet and salty popcorn?
Why would anybody do that?
It's fire.
Why did you think that was gonna make it?
No, you don't even like regular popcorn. You don't even like regular popcorn.
Caramel popcorn. No, I do like regular popcorn. Like the butter and the salt because that makes sense.
And there's no sweet.
And there's no sweet.
So you're no grits and sugar.
I will do grits and sugar because
Wait, you'll do grits and sugar? What you?
because you can make it one or the other. You can make grits sweet or you can make grits savory, but I'm not doing the both. Like I can have sweet grits. I actually sit on the fence with the whole like sugar and the grits conversation. I'm like, I will do it anyway. Just don't mix that shit. Like, don't mix it for me.
So
Yeah,
would
it's
you
the
not
combo.
eat very well seasoned barbecue chicken? 'Cause
Barbecue-
it's savory.
Okay, all right. Now barbecue will get me, but I prefer like a hickory smoke where I have more smokiness than I do like a honey barbecue.
Okay.
Actually, my favorite is a spicy barbecue. A spicy anything is the key to my heart. So I'm down with all of that. A spicy ramen, a spicy barbecue, a spicy chipotle dish,
So you
like
prefer
just
spicy over.
a savory spice for sure. Like I want a little bit of a hint of heat. It might have me sniffle a little bit. I don't want to be crying. I don't need to be blowing my nose profusely,
Yeah.
but like a little sniffy sniff
So
and a
like
whole lot of
B-dubs,
flavor.
You know they got the little ranks. So
Yeah.
you're not blazing.
I'm not
But
blazing.
we like.
I'm a little bit above medium.
Okay.
Yeah, just a smidge, maybe one.
Okay.
Like if mango habanero wasn't sweet and salty, that would be a mwah.
Mm.
But it's mango habanero. For you. It's fire for you.
Nah, I tell you, if you had this sweet and salty popcorn from my job, you would change your mind. Like, I'm telling you, like, it's so many. Like, you probably haven't had all the combinations. That could be like, I'm life changing for you. That's all I'm gonna say. But okay, so there's unity on that side. It's still Team Hershey. You feel? I feel like we on the team. You feel me? Kayla, I mess with the chips.
Everyone agrees with you.
Everyone agrees with Kayla. He's an agreeable person. Yeah, I mean in general, it's a great, you know what I'm saying, party favorite. Chips, you know what I mean. It's a vibe, you know what I mean. You can't. Can you though? Actually, yeah.
Yeah, you can.
I,
Here we go.
yeah.
I'm trying to stir the pot a little bit.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
So, are these tortilla chips? I'm asking because I really don't know.
I don't know.
They look like they're a potato chip trying to be a tortilla chip, but I'm not sure.
It's kind of like a Dorito.
Oh, Dorito type. Okay. Because my question was gonna be, then never mind. I thought they were tortilla chips. Most people I know, the tortilla chip ain't really that fire. It's the fact that we dipping it into something nice, some cheese sauce, and that combination is what gets you there. Now there's a lot. Now there's a tortilla chip that like, but there's one though where they're like it's like a hint of lime. I don't know if that one. I don't need nothing. Give me the lime chips. It depends on who makes them. So you get some corn tortillas, right? You cut them into the little triangles and you fry them. Throw them in some oil. Yeah, that's it. But at that point, it's based on your tortilla. You gotta have a good corn tortilla. And maybe throw a little bit of sprinkle, a little bit of salt when you're done.
And then
You be alright.
alright.
Yeah, you be alright.
That counters the argument, though.
That's cool.
right?
I guess the chip just gotta make. It's about the chip then, the right chip, just like the right cup, the right peanut butter cup. It gotta be the right chip.
So I got.
That's all I got.
I was just gonna hate on all the health conscious chips. I ain't even gonna lie.
You said hate on the
I was for sure. There's just like there's some. So there's one that I do like. I do like a blue chip. I forget what the brand is, but like
It's blue.
yeah, it's made out of blue corn. Nah. So another thing, I promise y'all, by the end of this conversation, I'm going to be the most controversial snack person in the room. I don't like Doritos.
Blue or black?
They're blue. You didn't hear it?
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. Please repeat yourself.
I don't like Doritos. Yeah, then that tastes just like a Dorito. So yeah, if y'all rock with Doritos, y'all should try that.
You said
Nah,
You just don't like them?
nah.
No flavor?
I don't like the flavor.
like any.
Well, you know, like they have different like. you
Correct. The nacho, the Cool Ranch,
Know, you know what I'm saying? You don't like any of them.
the purple
It's like a
bag.
sweet chili, right? You don't like the purple either.
Why would I like the sweet chili?
Just don't like it salty, so. Sweet chili.
It's yeah, man, and it's cool. They good, man.
Water, by the way?
Yeah, I would like a water. Thank you. It's like at the end of the day, it's okay. Like I think it's just me. I think it's just me. You know, when Taco Bell had that little partnership with the Doritos, you know, that was like the closest thing I was gonna get to supporting Doritos. Yeah.
Now, do you not like the health conscious chips? Because in your head, you like, if you're gonna be health conscious, let's just eat some fruit.
No.
Let's not try to.
No, I don't believe that healthy food and flavors should be mutually exclusive. Thank you.
For sure. Somebody said.
Yeah. You want to talk about it?
No.
Okay, you sure?
I'm listening. Preach.
Yeah. I do believe that flavor is not a luxury. It is something that we should all have access to, and just because I'm choosing to literally just because I'm choosing to put certain things in my body versus other things does not mean that I should not have access to flavor. That flavor should also not be tied to things that are eventually going to lead me to have cholesterol or diabetes or all these other things. Like that's just it. I'm gonna pass this mic.
Okay. Well, it's great conversation so far. I can't lie. I thought I'd be stalling long enough for my guy Malachi to get here. Yeah. Nah, he has. Yeah, those are his honey buns. So, Brandon has the Oreos. I don't know where he at. So I'm glad he wasn't here for that exchange because then this probably would have went longer. But so cut the mic off. But yeah, so my thought was making this in the middle of the day would prevent from people saying they need to get some food. we could go with light snacks, but he still told me that he's had to get some food. So that didn't work. It backfired. No, Malachi. So that backfired on me. But regardless, I was just gonna shout him out. He's been on my Patreon. He's been a sponsor for 4 years. You know what I mean? So I'm really grateful. He's on a teacher at Shortridge High School just down the road too. Currently enrolled in a master's program in IUPUI, Ooey Pooey. You feel me? And also hosts a podcast called The Unapologetics, which focuses on highlighting black voices in general, just across like different cultural conversations. Right now, he's currently talking about critical race theory, so just different things that are going on currently. So definitely check out his podcast, Unapologetics. Fortunately, he's not here. I thought if I gave these niggas till 3, you feel me, they had to go get some food. But yeah, I considered that. But but here's my thing. Here's my thing. I thought that would mean that food wouldn't be. I thought that would mean snacks would be cool. But then he told me like I need some food, and I was like, oh, but
I had already eaten when I came here. So
yeah, yes, that's what I thought. I thought people would probably be like just off of lunchtime. But
maybe you had a long day.
yeah, I feel you. I feel you. They got away from. I feel you. I feel that there's plenty possibilities, but other than that, we appreciate you. Hopefully, when you get here, it'll be here shortly. But just shout out to him because I'm giving him a free shirt and also a extra one. So just a heads up, if you are a sponsor on my Patreon page, you can get $10 off of any merchandise once a month. You also get access, which I should have told you before you purchase yours, because he already got his before he came to the park. I appreciate you. You also get access to any event I'm in. You get into it for free, even if it's not me. That's a bar. And then you get access to close friends on Instagram, exclusive group chat, woo-to-woo, all that. So just a different way for you to, it's on a monthly basis, a $10 tier, right? I call it $10 tier. I just try to get everybody as much benefits as I can. So it's, if you want interested in being sponsored, before you get, if you're gonna purchase a shirt tonight, if you're interested in being sponsored, definitely you sign up on the Patreon. You feel me? But other than that, since he's not here, we'll just keep on rocking. You feel me? And then move into some conversations on tests, right? So the song, I didn't even plan that. The song just played. If you missed it, I'll play it again. But after we play that, we'll just talk about what are some tests that you guys have been through. Just kind of get to share your story. It don't have to be recent. It can be if you just want to talk about recent tests, or if you want to just dive into like, okay, what, like something that's happened a while back. You know what I mean? You can get as real or light as you want. But I'll play the song real quickly. Can everybody hear that? Okay, pivot real quick. Any feedback or responses to that initially?
That was motivational. Like I was sitting here. I'm a super visual person, so I gotta close my eyes to everything. I could see myself like if I was having a bad day, or if I just needed like a pick me up, like I'm riding down a car, like I'm gonna survive through the test. Like I'm gonna get through that. Like I'm gonna do that. And I really appreciate also that like you acknowledge God in your song. Like that's not something that that's not I feel like that's a gimmick for a lot of people, but just in talking to you and knowing you outside of this, it feels more genuine than it does like, well, I'm just trying to reach the Christian crowd, like or the holy crowd or whoever, like because God can mean anything to anybody, you know what I'm saying? And so it just feels more like you are actually like giving reverence. And so those are two things that popped out to me that I just want to give you props on.
Man,
Yeah.
I think to piggyback, you mentioned how you say you survived through the test. That doesn't necessarily mean we passed all them tests. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of failed. I didn't had a lot of tests in my life, like in life, in school, like pick a test. I didn't fail it, but it's like, oh, I didn't pass it, but I got through it. I survived through the test. Whether it was a test of like maybe not getting angry and acting out of my anger, definitely failed. But thank God, He's faithful and He's forgiving. That He's allowed me to still survive through the test, and then just still being thankful, still not still trying to pass every test that we have to deal with, but knowing that even if we fail, we can still survive it. So that was major, just hearing survive the test.
No, I love that because I don't think I even thought that deeply about it. Because I feel like so often what gets us is if we don't pass it with flying colors, we think we're failing. You know what I mean? And even if we do fail, we think we're somehow less than or forgotten. But it's like, nah, just surviving sometimes is a celebration in and of itself. You know what I mean? Because not everybody survives. Like some people, when they go through the test or tests happen to them, they don't make it out of those situations. So yeah, that's real encouraging to hear.
I guess I interpret tests as lessons. You know what I mean? Yeah. So when I hear that, it just means every lesson I survived, everything that I went through, I've gained understanding from it. Because I was tested, I was put through whatever I was put through. I came out, I learned from it, and I got better from it. So that's what surviving out the test to me means. Just piggyback up really.
Yeah, 100%. Do you have anything?
Yeah, the track's definitely hard. Like it's survived. Like it's survived. But I mean, like you said, it's like a hype song, but at the same time, a reference to God and faith. So, I mean, that's big to me. And then, I think like the thing about it, like you gonna be tested in different ways, like throughout life. So like as you go through, like whether it's you trying to go attain something, some goal you have, a relationship, like you just a career, like a business, like you just never know how you're gonna be tested. So like how will you react in that moment? You know what I mean? Like which is just goes back to like just having faith, like and like knowing that like God has a plan and a reason for that. Like even if it's for somebody else, which one of the things I think about, somebody else's life could be impacted like because of the test you went through, you know what I mean? And them seeing you go through that, you like wondering why is this happening to me? But it could be so that somebody else can see that you went through that and get in faith. Like so I don't know that but no, I rock with it. So I agree with what everybody says.
No, that's powerful, man. I appreciate you sharing. I feel like that's a perfect segue too. What are some tests that you guys have survived through that you feel is a huge part of your testimony, right? Because the test is to lead into a testimony. You know what I mean? So just go ahead, testify. You feel me?
So I would say for me, like one of the biggest things that happened, like, and it's just like every stuff that is just part of life, like death happens, right? So like with me, like this was a few years ago, but I had moved strategically, like moved up to Michigan, like as part of like training, like for work, And like literally like right after I moved, my granny got sick. Like literally like right after I moved, then a few months went by, she had to get put on dialysis. Like back and forth to Michigan, like end up coming back, and that like changed the whole dynamics of like my family. And like I was like super close to her, like used to live with her, so yeah, so it really hit home. But then at the same time, like I'm up here, so it's like, why is this happening? And then um like should I come back? Should I move back? So it's like those type of questions. Yeah.
I bet this is Malachi.
Bro, the homie.
What's up, Wizzy?
Bro, the homie. Dude got the food, bro. Just been chopping it up. What's going on? Caleb, we met one of the black,
That's right.
Black Man Red said the black leaf flavor.
That's right.
Yeah.
Black
Yeah,
white.
this-
Right. Hello.
Hi, it's me.
Wait, I was like,
How you
how
doing?
How are you? Good, been a minute.
It's been a great while.
Oh, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Am I saying that?
No, you good, bro. Quick show, bro.
We really just got into deep conversation.
Oh.
The country of Reese.
Oh,
Yeah.
So yeah, question.
I'm sorry.
You didn't miss the most controversial.
Right, we know you don't like them, but you ain't gotta hurt them.
Okay. Whatever.
Y'all some Brad Pill nonsense.
Yeah, you know how we do it, right?
Yeah, no, so
And because you missed this, but I shouted y'all earlier because you've been on. I appreciate you being a sponsor. Oh yeah. I appreciate you being a sponsor of mine for 4 years on Patreon. You know what I mean? You've been a faithful Roman. I appreciate it a lot. You know what I mean? And this also been a solid brother. Like when I moved in here, when I was down bad, coming off my last relationship, like he helped me move and stuff like this. You remember the whole place was empty. I was down bad. You feel me? So he's been a solid friend throughout the years too. So, once again, he has his podcast, Unapologetics. He's a teacher at Shortridge High School, a revolutionary with the Black Church Coalition, an organizer, poet, MC, hyphen, all that. You feel me? So, here's your shirt. You feel me? I mean, you're two shirt. So the reason it's two is because the first one I messed up, and so he said he still wanted the messed up one. You feel me?
Exclusive joint.
Yeah, it's exclusive. Yeah, if you look on the back side of it, that's what's messed up. The logo on the shirt is no, it's like can you see it on there? Yeah, it's like ripped up.
Listen, this takes me back to them struggles.
Yeah.
When all you had like was the cord left.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he funny. Yeah, not me. I've heard about it. You feel me? Yeah, but then also I forgot my brother Frank had already got one beforehand. So thank you, sir, for supporting. Shirt. Just search R20, you feel me? So if you're interested in getting the shirt, but like I said, you can also hop on the Patreon, like my guy Malachi. Like I said, this he's been somebody that's allowed, like Patreon's usually my platform, the sponsorship that allows me to keep making music. So that's why I really appreciate you doing it. But other than that, yeah, we were in the middle of the discussion. Caleb was going in about the test that he was surviving through, right? So we want to keep your story going. I know it was a more somber tone he walked in, but let's keep that kind of momentum going. Appreciate you sharing too.
For sure. And that was pretty much, just sharing how like I had moved up. This was a few years back, but moved up to Michigan from here for work, and then grandmother got sick, who I was really close to at the time, and that just really took a big toll on like me personally, the family. Like I'm my mom's like only like kid and all that. Like she ain't she's not married, so like and then at the same time like questioning like why is this happening at this time, and then like should I even continue on this path, like those type of questions I'm asking like myself. But like it ended up all working out, in God's, plan. but just having faith behind that. But I would say that was a test for me, like, like I said, personally, like, just question like what I'm gonna do. Should I continue on this path? And like, but ultimately, like, just leaning into my faith during that situation. You know what I'm saying? And like, I'll say like feel like I survived through it. You know what I'm saying? But like to your point earlier, it's like in that moment, over a stretch of time, it's like dealing with different emotions, and then trying to like maintain composure, especially like work day to day, like trying to, go and keep, a certain level of calmness. And then, like I said, it's a training program. So like they like taking time investing in me, and I'm like trying to keep it together and not like let too much of this personal stuff interfere with it. So it's like, did I, like pass all of those tests, you know what I'm saying? Did I, act the way I should have, deal with my emotions properly, whether it was at work or dealing with family, while it's all these mixed emotions. So I would say that's one I always kind of reflect on in terms of stuff that I've been through. Yeah.
Did you did you hold space for your emotions? Like, I know we're taught that you check your emotions at the door with job and this, and sometimes I'm not a man, but as an observer of men, you are taught to hold your emotions for the people around you. Like, did you allow yourself to feel? Have you felt since then?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a deep question. No, I would say I did to an extent, but I wouldn't say that I would have in a healthy way. You know what I mean? I feel like I kind of like tried to like muscle through it a lot, especially like I said at work, like just trying to like using work not as an excuse to not think about it, but it's like, okay, let me just focus on this. Like I can't, like this is a situation outside my control, so I may be like down about it right now, but I'm not gonna think about it. And then like trying to work through it that way from a work perspective, like just trying to stay busy. But and like I said too, being like my mom's like only child and all that, and not being married, nothing, like I'm trying to like be like not like strong, but like trying to like not be breaking down in front of her and stuff like that. And certain same time, I'm still like letting that out, but it's like she may be down or something. She may be like needing some type of help. So like I'm trying to like stay super solid. And for my aunts too, like I don't have any they didn't have any brothers. My mom had three sisters. So and I had my granddad at the time, who was my granny's husband, but he ended up passing just a few months after her, so he wasn't, in the best condition. So like I would like to answer the question, I would say like I tried to, but like looking back, I don't think that like I fully did. But tried to balance it through like writing, music and stuff like that. It was about.
I do have a follow up. Okay, I'm sorry, but the follow up is to like the group actually, so it's not just you. So you off the hook. So please, so how do I phrase this? Do you have a group of men specifically that you can go to feel, to exist, to release? Um, if yes, how did you go about that? If no, how do you think you can go about getting that? Before you answer, a little bit of context. Because we live in, what did Bell Hooks call it? An imperialist, white supremacist, capitalist patriarchy. You are literally set up for failure in terms of like uh dealing with your emotions in a healthy way. And so I'm asking this question, one, to see if you are going against the grain, two, in an effort to inspire you to go against the grain in the event that you are just not in a position right now to do so. So let me go back. Do you have a group of men, or even just one, at least one man that you can go to feel, to release, to express? If yes, how'd you do that? If not, how do you think you can do that?
Come on, Will to change nuggets. I see you out here.
Oh, Lord.
This stuff was great in our program. I love it.
I definitely gotta get on some bell hooks. Like I got so many on my like audio book wish list. Trying to catch up, y'all. I've been behind. Yo, So to answer that question, like yeah, like I know I do. Like for instance, Rome and I we were just talking last night, or was it the day before? It was one of them days. One of them days. One of these days this week. And I also have like a few good homies of mine who are men. One of which is my cousin, but he's really been like a brother. Like I'm his son's godfather. Like that's how close we are. And so I always know I can go to them and a few other people who are men about certain things, emotionally speaking and whatnot. And so how I go about doing that, sometimes that is the challenge, like a challenge of like giving myself permission to have that conversation. Um, like it's easy and convenient. Like if like I see somebody or like we just so happen to be on the phone, it's like oh, and you already know, and if that person already knows what I'm going through. Sometimes I had to make an effort to reach out and even tell someone. Like for instance, like I recently went through a breakup, and so one of my good homies, he doesn't even live here in the state. He lives in Virginia, and I can't remember. Like we had been texting back and forth a little bit, and he sent me a text recently, and then I realized like, oh man, I didn't even tell bro about this yet. Like, um, it got to a point where like I felt like I was like kind of stretching myself thin in and out of conversations with certain folks. So I'm like, how many more people do I got to tell about this? Like, and how many more people I had to process these emotions with? Like, it's already been a challenge, like processing them with this person or that person, and definitely with myself. But to like have to go through that again and like seeing how that person will react, seeing how that brother will react is like yeah, it's work. It's definitely work, and I'm finding it's like something I can't just like clock in and clock out with. Like, oh, I tell you these things, I spill out where my heart is, and then I don't talk to you about it or don't talk about it like for months or something like that. It's like, oh man, grief becomes a lifestyle. Like it's something that you grow with, not something you just like jump over like a hurdle of some sort. So I, hopefully that answers your question. Like it's just to get back to it. Like yeah, I do have like brothers who I could talk to about that, and then how I go about doing it. Aside from the convenience of us just being in the same space, is reaching out and saying like, "Hey, y'all, this is where I'm at right now," and just opening myself up for wherever that conversation goes.
Yeah, I would say right now I would say I do also. I got like similar, got a couple like friends and homies. I would say like back then I wasn't as intentional about it, like when that specific situation happened. But as of right now, yeah. So I do.
I would say yes, I do. Um, I've got a couple of people who I can talk to. A couple of men I'm thinking about specifically who like I can reach out to. I met them both in college. I'm thinking like the first two men I met them both in college, and I just was able to really develop like a true friendship, a genuine friendship. And over the last few years, I've just been much better at like just not feeling like I gotta be like have my guard up or have my walls up every single where I go. Um, and just being around like just in general being around men like Rome. Um, I've seen his vulnerability. I've seen him not like he don't care who around. Rome gonna be wrong, and if something gets deeper, if something gets serious, like he welcomes that. And he allows people to be comfortable in their vulnerability, if that makes sense. So I got two men in my life who I can be comfortable and vulnerable with like easily. I can tell them literally anything, and that helps me feel like I don't have to be this macho man all the time. I don't have to have it all figured out all the time because there are a lot of people in my life who I don't want to say I need to be because the Lord needs to be that for them. But like I feel like they expect me to be a certain way, so it's nice when I don't have to be that way. And again, like I said, the way it happened, it was just very organic, just developing relationships, and then we were all in a space where it's like we don't want to have to feel like we have to have our walls up all the time, have our guard up everywhere we go. We're in America, so all of us, we got to walk out the house and have our guard up just to stay alive, type stuff. So having that space where excuse me, where I can just be myself, every single aspect of myself, not just the angry black man that the world thinks I am, but the silly, funny, goofy black man that I want to be, the sad black man I want to be, the one who cries, the one who doesn't have it all figured out. I have those two people amongst other folk who I feel comfortable, being that with. So yeah.
Bro, sad black man, bro.
We be sad sometimes. It's okay.
It's real.
Life be sad sometimes. Life is not easy.
So for me, no, I don't. Most of the time, sometimes I'll talk to you, but most of the time I handle it. My emotions, I deal with them as I come. If something happens, I deal with it right away, and then I don't carry that. You get what I mean? I let it go right then and there. So that's the only way I know how to do it.
Yeah, that's fact. And shout out to my brother Frank, because I feel like we've had some great conversations just over the past few years. To see some of those spaces cultivated, and really why I really want to do more things like this. Spoiler alert, my plan is to do like monthly situations where I'm doing like listening sessions over the music I'm dropping. But yeah, I say I feel like I'm blessed with individuals that is not going out the gate judge you. You know what I mean? But I feel like oftentimes I can, like, I appreciate Bryce encouraged me in that, but I still feel like oftentimes I hold myself back because there is, that pressure to feel like you got everything figured out. You know what I mean? That pressure to feel like, oh, dang, you still dealing with this. You know what I mean? And kind of, even how he's raised to a degree is like there's a lot of things that didn't make sense, and in a lot of ways you always felt like you had to shoulder that and isolate those emotions to keep on moving. Because sometimes there's spaces for you, but sometimes even those spaces you feel misunderstood in. Like I even think about us organization like shout out to NAMI, the National Alliance for Mental Health, mental illness, right? But dealing with the family member who had mental illness within a black family, a black home, right? There's the internal stigma, and also the outside stigma. And then on top of that, it's like organizations that are more white, like Anami, right? It makes it even harder to connect. So, because they had this one support group for people that deal with family members with the same mental illness that our family member has. And it's just like, looking into it, it's like mainly white people though. So it's already this disconnect out the gate that you like, you get it, but you don't really get it. You feel me? So, that's why I say like, man, that's why I love my brother, man. And I try to love people as much as I can because I feel like I know what it's like to feel like nobody's going to really understand what you about to say or see you fully. But to bring it to reel it back in, I feel like I'm blessed though with a lot of like I feel like everybody in this room I'm still getting to know you a little bit and you as well, Caleb. You feel me? But I do sense a genuineness typically around individuals like yourselves that I can feel more comfortable to growing combating. Yeah, they sound like the feds. Is that the feds? Oh no, yes. Woo! It's good with you, man. Great to see you. Great to see what's going on, T. Let me get you another chair, actually. Let me get you another chair. Extra chair. Let me get you a pillow for that chair. Cause, oh look, he's such a gentleman. He's such a gentleman. Have my pillow, baby. Nah, man. But now, just for kind of thank y'all so much for pulling up. You feel me? This is y'all already dapped up and all that, so y'all good, right? Okay, cool. So What we talking about? Nah, so we talking about tests. We were responding, just basically saying what tests we've been through. Caleb shared his. Then Albany had this great question of how men typically, as an observer of men, like right, you said, you don't experience it, but often don't hold space for their emotions. So she asked a question: do you have a group of men or a man that you go to? If yes, what if? Yeah, how did you meet? How did you form? How can you form it? Yeah. So I guess all we had left was I was basically touching my story a bit. We have left is that Brand. If you want to, yeah, we you come in with the deep question. So if you want to share that, you feel me? Yeah, it's really it's like an icebreaker. You feel me? This what happened to me out the gate. You feel me? Uh, yeah. You always coming at that time, man. You feel me? You know what time it is. But
When it get real, that's when you come in the room.
Yeah. So what was the question?
So, do you have at least one other man that you can like release your emotions with? If so, how did that happen? If not, how can you make that happen?
Yeah, I got my granddad. That happened, I guess, from him just being solid. You know what I'm saying, and creating a safe space for me to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying, letting me know that I could trust him. You know, and you said, if not, how can it happen?
Well, I mean, yeah, but you got one, so you don't have
Oh, okay, right.
you got something?
As a black woman, it's not like you have it any easier. You know, I think now as just I don't know if it's just how y'all are made or just maybe the world plays a part in just allowing y'all to maybe be more emotional. But I feel like it's a little easier for y'all to at least let out those emotions. But even with that, what does that look like for you? Whether it's a community of women, whether it's another woman, what does that look like? And if it is easy, if it's not easy, then correct me. But what makes it so easy or easier for you to let out those emotions and not feel like you can't be as open with them if you feel if you feel that way.
Real quick, can I add a caveat to that
Yeah,
question?
sure.
Real quick.
Caveat.
Like those conversations about like gender roles and like what we assigned it each gender is always like interesting. Like especially in the conversation between black men and black women, we always get into that like I'm not trying to say binary, but like, oh, women emotional, men logical, rational, quote unquote, right? Like, I'm a firm believer that everybody is emotional in a certain sense. There are just certain emotions that are more consistent with what we're used to seeing with women versus men, like,
or what's allowed, right?
or what's allowed. Like for us, like it's not like we're completely apathetic as men or as black men. The emotions that we typically show are anger, most consistently. Sometimes apathy. I feel like apathy is an emotion.
Can you break that down?
Yeah, because like there's a numbness to that. You know what I'm saying? Like where we totally tap out and check out to the emotions that we don't want to deal with. Like that in itself is a type of emotion. That emotion may not be. Like I'm still searching for a word, but like
Not as expressive.
it is an expression still.
So, okay.
It's just more like a nonchalant like undertone of like some kind of expression that we just don't want to verbalize, that we don't want to vocalize either.
Suppress expression.
Right. So at that point, our emotions are expressed like solely through action, or maybe, because like sometimes like there's one aspect of it where it's like, oh, I know what emotions that I will have based on this situation. I'm gonna put it aside over here and just check out, and which will go back to that saying like, okay, I may have the emotional intelligence, but application of it sucks. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, right, for a lot of black women in our lives, they are very good at articulating what those emotions are and pointing them out in us. So I guess like to add to the question with that, because that was a fire question.
Wait, what's the question? I ain't gonna lie.
My bad.
He done said it so good.
You're adding to the question. I'll read. Reiterate. Yes, that is the word reiterate. But what's the addition?
So like the addition is like when it comes to expressing or vocalizing or whatever, the emotions that like y'all are good with dealing with.
Yeah.
That we view as y'all good with dealing with. Like I don't know if y'all feel that way, but a lot of times it's just how we see it.
Okay. So I guess I would need to know like what you feel like black women are good at dealing with first. Second, I believe everything is conditional. So I had a childhood experience that actually threw me into a repressive response. That's what I'm gonna call it. A repressive response because essentially I adopted what goes on in my life stays in my life. Because what goes on in this house stays in this house. So what goes on in my life stays in my life. So they got a projection of who I wanted them to see and not who I actually was. So like dealing with my own emotions became something I had to do alone because I didn't know if I could do that with someone else. It actually ended up with me talking to complete strangers. And so like that's how I became comfortable just kind of with myself. Because you would be sitting on the bus stop and I would be like, yeah, so today my dog died and I held it while it died and I was stroking it like, as it was like, and you're a complete stranger, like complete stranger. And like, that's just, and it essentially I opted into trauma dumping on people because I didn't know who I could release to. I didn't really feel like I had that. I went through a lot of stages. I got over that. I found my tribe of people that I feel like I can really go to and they can help me like talk through things. And I really appreciate that for sure. But to go back to your original question, just to piggyback off of what Malachi said, like the reason that I'm even able to do that is because the world expects me to. So like even though I'm like a teenager or like a new adult and I'm talking to a complete stranger, whether that person is a man or a woman, they're expecting me to be emotional simply because I have a vagina between my legs. Like that's it. Like because I was born with that, I am expected to express some form of like emotion, to cry, to feel, to why don't you understand? Like do all of these things. Like it's almost like and it doesn't get any better with like media. Like media portrays like women as like super just like I think about Waiting to Exhale when she burnt that man's car. Like you're like you're expected to react almost like viscerally to like pain every single time. And like the truth is like women also can choose the repressive reaction. Like they can also choose to be dismissive, to be like, nah, actually I'm just like I okay. Yeah.
Well, are you done?
The second portion was no, I just wanted to address the whole thing. Like the second portion was just like I actually don't think I got the full question. It was like what emotions do like black men feel like black women handle well, and why do we handle them well?
Honestly, I was trying to get back to his question.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
But I think this is what he said.
Oh, okay. Well, you had asked me basically kind of like why as a black woman I feel more comfortable versus like black men. And so I feel like I addressed that a little bit. So yeah, I don't think I have anything else to add to that.
Oh, thanks for sharing too. That's a lot. All right. It was the closest thing. The closest. The closest thing they had. All right, so y'all had a contest. We had a whole conversation about Hershey's versus Reese's. I ain't say I never eat Reese's. I just said Hershey's is the better competitor. You feel me? Just to set the record straight. The best competitor.
Who are you, Reese or Hershey? See?
Man, all these niggas Reese's. I'm surrounded by Reese's.
Man, we weren't trying to see. You trying to make it a division, a battle.
I'm not trying to make it a battle.
Maybe. We were just saying how.
Is it?
What? Reese's?
That's what I'm saying. It's the same brand.
But we just talking about.
Really? I just learned. Whoa! This ain't Hershey Company.
Absolutely.
This
We were trying. We were just trying to. All we were saying.
It's just the peanut butter and
That's
the
it.
chocolate mix. It's a different mix. You ever had an invitation?
Me and Frank just said we love peanut butter. We love Reese's. And this man came here just trying to start stuff.
I wouldn't even. I just said Hershey's is a superior option. I wasn't starting nothing. That started. Ain't no Hershey's in sight. He said, "I'm enjoying." You not ready for that conversation. Oh shit! All right, hold on. Okay, hold on. Before we get completely derailed, I was trying to piggyback off of what she. So, a couple years back, me and Malachi, Bryce, we were going through this book, Too Heavy a Yoke, right? I think describing those sentiments by this book by Chandra Walker Barnes, Too Heavy a Yoke, that talks about the weight black women face to the strong black woman stereotype, because there's an expectation from mainstream white culture of white women to be like these feminine, docile is the better word, thank you, docile, and you know what I'm saying, subservient, just but fragile, right? And so placed upon black women, but in the same token, you have all the power structures that are also forcing black women to repress, like you were describing your experience. And so it's like it is such a narrative that in our community in general, we have more space to give more grace, to be like, okay, there's more nuance than, like you were saying earlier, Malachi, just women emotional, men logical, and that's just how it is, because women have to, especially black women, have to deal with that narrative of, oh, be strong, but but don't be too strong. Oh, be emotional, but don't be too emotional. So it's like those structures of, like you mentioned earlier, patriarchy, and those structures of racism are both bearing down. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we were just getting at earlier, it's easier for us to move within those boxes, but as we know in this room, that's not everybody's experience, right? So I just thought I'd piggyback, and it's a great book too. If y'all not familiar, Too Heavy a Yoke by Sandra Walker Barnes. Great book by her. But you was about to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like with men and women, like it's all about balance. You feel me? Like how you said, be strong but not too strong. It's like I feel like with us, we shouldn't be too strong either. We gotta have that feminine and that masculine balance. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing with women. But the thing is, they took that from us when they took the parents out, because that would have provided us that balance. You feel me? So all we know is one way or the other. You feel me? And I feel like that's what we at today. You know, we just imbalance as a whole.
So I agree and I disagree, right? I'm only in chapter 1 of this book. It's Men, Masculinity, and Love by Bell Hooks. And she told the story about basically her parents upholding the patriarchal belief, because essentially, like, it's gonna be real raw, but they like beat her ass because she was interested in things that only boys should be interested in, which was playing marbles. Like and then, like, and her mother's response was, I told you shouldn't be doing that. Like, that was her mama's response, right? And so I've been asking myself, because I'm not 100% ready to answer this question, but I want to ask you all as I think about my own response. But one of the things that she says, that she notes in talking to men, is like men will share their feelings with women, but women aren't ready to like really handle that. Have you experienced that as a man? And then as a woman, I'm gonna try and answer this too. As a woman, can you relate? Can you not relate? So can you relate to not being like ready for that? Or do you have at least like one example where you were ready for that? And you're also welcome to some fruit. Okay.
Like one Reese left,
Can you spare one? Can I get a sliver? A morsel? All I need is one. Just let me hit it one time. Okay. So
question to the men is: have you ever expressed your emotions and it not been well received by women? And then to black women in the room, have you received a man's expression and were you able to handle it, or was it challenging?
Okay, plenty of times. And I think that's why, like, there's so many men, especially black men, who do suppress or repress those emotions. Because, like, there be times where we've gone through, we've tried to be vulnerable, emotionally vulnerable, and it hasn't been received well. So it's just like, man, bum that, never again. I know for me, like, sometimes I struggle with oversharing. Sometimes it's been with strangers. Yeah, it'd be like that. And in relationships, like, there've been on at least 2 occasions in previous relationships where, like, it was hard to figure out, like, how much to share and at what points in our relationship. So, like, I feel like maybe that gives a little nuance to that question. But, like, I think it doesn't, but, like, it doesn't, it hasn't happened so often where it's like I'm not, where I'm to the point where I'm unwilling to share emotions with a woman. But I guess, like, I am, like, more careful now, more prudent now about when and at what points to share with a woman with whom I'm in a relationship. Like, but with friendships, it's a lot easier though, because, like, more than likely we've been cool for a grip, and it's like, okay, yeah, I could, we doing life together in a sense. So yeah, like, I could go ahead and tell you this and that, and I know that you would understand. But in terms, I wish I had a very quick story about, like, a time where a woman, particularly a black woman, wasn't ready for it. But I feel like the black women I have in my life, they always ready. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you did this on purpose. My bad, my arms too long for my body. I was gonna get to that mic.
It's just long enough.
Just long enough.
Shout
I'll
out
take
Ron
that.
Norm gang.
I'll take that. I'm thinking just because of the experience you were thinking about, you did this subconsciously. I noticed you said, you know, when you share with women, you have to kind of gauge that in a relationship. But then you said, but with my friendships. Now I'm sure you have women who are your friend, but I think you were thinking about, like, relationships with women when you were, like, talking about that. So
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna say for me, that's probably the biggest thing. If it's a woman who I'm in a relationship with, that's where I'm like, you know, it's a fine line. You got to kind of walk that.
Why is
versus-
that distinction?
I was gonna hit it for y'all, whether y'all admit or not.
I feel you.
So I'm not gonna lie. So it's just in my past. Now my current relationship worked out differently, and I praise God for it. We actually we met and we told ourselves we're going to be friends first, whatever that looked like, and we live in different states, so that, like, helped from an intimacy standpoint without getting, you know, too many details or whatever. But, like, it forced us to have conversations. It forced us to talk and really build a friendship as if I was talking to, like, Rome. Like we really can have those kind of conversations, and it makes it a lot easier to express my emotions and not necessarily feel like, dang, I don't know how she's about to view me, because it's like, now that we have that friendship and we, like, even, there's nothing wrong with discussing what you can talk with you know, with people. I feel like the more communication, the better, because it's like, okay, I know how she wants to be communicated with, she knows how I want to be communicated with, and we both know, like, what we can handle in a conversation. Let me stop before I start rambling. To get back to the original question, ask it one more time.
So the follow-up question was, why was it easy? Why was it more challenging for you to open up to
In the relationship, what was your
Yeah.
first question?
My first question was, how was opening up to a woman like what was that experience?
Okay, yeah.
like?
So for the most part, yeah, I've never really. They've usually received it well, and if they didn't, they were able to tell me why they didn't receive it well, and then we were able to kind of go from there. Because maybe I just straight up said something I shouldn't have said, or I said something in a way that was offensive, even if I didn't intend it that way. That's what happened. So then, you know, addressing that reality.
Impact versus intent.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is something
Addressing
that
the
you
impact.
shouldn't- What
Huh.
is something you shouldn't have said? What does that mean?
I'm gonna have to think about that one. So I'll come with an example. But why was it? You said why I feel like it was more difficult.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like there was more to lose, or it would no. I feel like it could be lost easier. Let me say it that way. I feel like it could be lost easier. I feel like it's gonna be a lot easier to lose a relationship than a friendship. Um,
Yes.
With delicate information.
I'm gonna keep it 100, yeah, because like you're.
It's
in
scarier.
in my
It's
experiences,
less, which is sad though. I feel like that gives. I'm in a hijack completely, but yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you have it.
So, because it's more at stake in a relationship versus a friendship in our culture, right? We don't know how to do deep platonic friendships really out there, especially with the opposite gender. So already, well, with the people that identifies that, you feel me? So already you have this. Oh, you gotta go, my boy. You gotta finish your point. Okay, okay. Ironic. FaceTime red. Hey, check it. All right, but like because it's a lot more at stake. Usually the most vulnerable you've been in a relationship, romantic relationship versus regular friendship. Regular friendships, sometimes we don't treat them as. So we usually treat our regular friendship at times like acquaintances, and sometimes we don't follow with people, we don't reciprocate. And I don't know, this might be another trail, but this podcast I was listening to said like our friendships, if we valued our friendships as much as we did romantic relationships, we probably wouldn't depend solely upon romantic relationships as much as we do, like to be our end all, be all, make us whole. But we don't really have a frame of reference usually for a deep friendship out the gate. So we end up pouring a lot of ourselves into romantic relationships, and that's why it's harder because it's like, oh shoot, like I done let sensitive information out too with this. So yeah, it's risky business, but you keep going.
I feel like there are also just people who I'm like, okay, I'm down to have a deep. I'm sorry, I ain't pointing at nobody. I'm just as an example. I'm you know, I talk with my hands sometimes. It might be in the case of like I'm willing to be, or someone is willing to be my friend. You know, it's not. You know, I'm not always one choosing, but like I might be okay with having a deep platonic relationship or friendship with you, but I don't necessarily want to date you. Maybe it's more. You know, there are more people who I'd rather be friends with than I'd rather date. So it's just like it can be easier that way. And again, like when yes, you do life with your friends, but it's like I don't have to worry about getting into it with you. And now we gotta get in the same bed, and we gotta navigate that. Whereas, like, if you my friend, I'm really pissed off at you. I'm gonna holler at you in like 2-3 days. If you really in it thick with somebody, which I mean, if you're in a relationship, that's one thing. But like, if you're like, say you're married and you're living together, you're like, I'm thinking about that in a relationship phase. I'm not gonna date without no intention or no purpose. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking about, okay, am I gonna be able to navigate that with this person? So like, all of that's going through my head, even in it's just this one little moment where it's like me being vulnerable, how that is received, or even how vulnerability is reciprocated. I have to think about all of that versus a friendship. Like there's more room to mess up, and I think there's more freedom to mess up in a friendship than a romantic relationship. Friendship, men or women. So I think it's more based off of that, the type of friendship versus whether it's men or women. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because it's probably low key you thinking it's longer commitment in friendships too. Like you just said, you thinking like, oh yeah, it might be a shitty patch, but
it's a deeper commitment. Because I pray that the friends I have are lifelong friends.
Yeah,
but it's deeper.
And
it's
you
deeper
thinking
than
they're
that.
gonna be here in 10 years regardless.
Oh, okay, I get what you're saying. Yes.
Okay, we wasn't on the same page. But
no, I think
yeah, we not. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm not.
And I feel like it's more unconditional with friendships. Like as a friend, you gonna love me whether I might do something you don't like or not. If you really my friend, but if you my girl or if you in a relationship with somebody, I might do something that you might not like, and you might, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like it's more unconditional with friendships.
I feel like, which way do I put? Okay. I feel like I just addressed the elephant in the room. Like if I got issues, if I got a problem, I'm gonna say it, and then we gonna deal with it after that. Because I've learned when you internalize things, I can't expect you to understand anything. But if I get it out, we can build off that. And then instead of having animosity of why you doing stuff like this, then I already put it out there. So if you don't care, then I know how to operate with you. You know what I mean? Yeah, and we build off of that instead of just hiding yourself from your person, and then eventually addressing the elephant later on because it's a problem. So,
So, couple things. The first thing is I've decided to adopt, or rather, I'm entertaining a new ideology, which is like friendships do need to come with a couple of conditions, because if you cheating on your girl, you cheating on your man, you cheating on your non-binary person, like who are you to not turn that disloyalty onto me? And that's just kind of like how I feel. Like, and I'm entertaining the ideology because, like, they could be going through some things that I know about that, like, it's just, I ain't gonna say it's like a phase, but like that's the only terminology I have right now. It's like a phase. It's a reaction. It's a response to something that like this romantic partner doesn't understand, but I do. Okay, that's something I can like navigate. But if you just out here to be out here, I just feel like that you're operating with a level of disloyalty to yourself that is unconditionally applied to anybody else, myself included. So that's what I wanted to say to that. But even then, like, and this is why I'm entertaining it, because even then, like, who am I not to continue to hold that person down when they need love the most, when they need to be educated, when they need a demonstration of what loyalty is. And so this is why I'm entertaining it, because it's like what is the line? Is there a line? You know? So
they have to grow themselves. Sometimes you can get crushed for somebody.
like an enabler.
Your absence is.
You gotta speak on the mic, man. You gotta speak on the mic.
Sometimes you can be a crutch and enable somebody, and sometimes they can't grow until your absence is there. So a lot of times when you leave, you be like, dang, I missed out on a good woman. You know what I mean? And then I can't get her back. She won't talk to me. She won't do nothing because of what my actions were versus her enabling me all the time. I'm good. I'm the man, you know, because she gonna take me back.
Did you have something else?
Yeah, I mean, I think just to your point, it is all about, like I was saying before, I feel like why our friendships don't end up having depth is, like you're saying, we don't set boundaries and we don't look for accountability, right? If you have, and I like how you briefly kind of wrapped it up well, it's like, let your absence speak. Like there's a certain love in absence too. It don't mean that you wash your hand, because I feel like the only problem with I won't be like one of them old heads like, these youngins, you feel me? But I feel like the new wave coming up is a lot of like cut somebody off. It's very, you know what I'm saying, cut dry, and like, if you know what I mean, it's less sticking it out with people through those situations. But even with that, I think there has to be a lot more accountability, and not just, I mean, you know, especially, well, I don't say it all the time, but you know, to the men in the room, I feel like a lot of times, you know, your homie doing something that he like, you gotta call him out for that. But sometimes we don't want to mess that up because, oh no, this our time to be with the bro. You feel me? Your type situation. Yeah, but that's not love, right? But that's so often with those like systems that are in place. He reaches out. I'm gonna let you go crazy. You feel me? Like the systems like we talk about with, with those systems like patriarchy and, you know what I'm saying, that are in place. It's easier for us to just go with the flow because it's like, damn, I'm just trying to chill, right? Because, you know, we already going through a whole bunch of stuff that we're doing with ourselves. You feel me? So, go. Yeah. Yeah.
Man, we're gonna call inconsistencies out as men. Like if I know that you trying to give me some advice about a relationship, but you cheating on your girl, man, don't talk to me. Bro, you really need to. You got a good girl. It's my side chick.
I got a great question. I have an amazing question.
Shoot, I forgot what I was about to say. No, it's okay. Okay, here it is. And I think a lot of times we have these issues because of lack of definition of what the friendship is. and lack of communication about our expectations. So like I don't even hold you for saying like, yeah, there are conditions in my friendships these days, and like I feel like that's even going back to the ideas of friends who are like just merely acquaintances. Whoever said that over here, because yeah, like it's weird because it's like sometimes it seems like we're a little bit better equipped to do that in a dating relationship. At least these days because people have like more language and whatnot. So like typically a lot of times it do be the women who be like, all right, what are your expectations and what are your boundary? Right. What are we? What are we doing? And niggas, we just be like, just going with it. Right. Just going with the flow. Like, right. We just cool, you know? So I thought we was good. Like, we building right. Where we building? I feel like, especially in the way we communicate that amongst ourselves, and be like, oh no, yeah, sis and I, we just talking. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just chilling.
Talking is the worst. It's like, what are we talking?
Right. What is the conversation? Right. So like, and maybe that could be a challenge for us, like that we could like find space in our friendships that have existed for a while and be like, hey, even if that comes in the like, so it doesn't sound like a random attack of like, these are what my expectations are. Just be like, no. You can probably hit them with one of those. Hey, I appreciate how you've done this, in this relationship, in our friendship. These are things that like I look forward to getting out of our friendship. You know what I'm saying? These are things that I love about you. Man, here's what my needs are right now. Hey, bro, can you hit me with like this expectation? This, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, can you show up like can you show up for me emotionally right now? You know what I'm saying? Like, and then open that conversation up, be like, hey, what do you think that looks like to you? You know what I'm saying? Because like I appreciate what you've been able to do here, and here. I'm excited to see what you can do with this. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm talking to myself.
Nah, I want to do that. That's just fire.
So Frank had mentioned something, and I feel you. If you cheating on your girl, ing, don't talk to me about what I got going on, my lady, right? One of the most mature things we can do, and I'm gonna say for believers, because this really, if you ain't a believer, this might not hit the same. But to be in community, be held accountable means you're going to have to be okay with being corrected by people whose faults and flaws you know. Right? In marriage, you have to be corrected by a person who you know all they dirt. And every single day, you got to choose to love them. You got to choose to, allow yourself to be corrected by them, knowing you telling me to watch my anger. Girl, you just had road rage. But like knowing, like, okay, in this moment, like right. So I'm just kind of that background of that, whatever. At what point are you able to say, I know this person used to deal with this, or I know this person is dealing with this, but I know right now they really are trying to help me. How are you able to, or are you able to listen to what that person is saying because they're trying to help you out? Or is it truly being tainted or filtered by the fact that this person's dirt? How do we get past that?
It depends.
You want to go first?
Go first.
So, like, because what I'm hearing low key is like cognitive dissonance, which is like where the simplest way is do as I say and not as I do. Because it's like
no. I mean, in terms of, then let me not say if they're still doing it. Because my thought was about the person like not doing it anymore. Like say like, I'm trying to think of something. What's something simple? Maybe not everyone agrees, but like say someone used to curse like a sailor. They don't cuss no more. And they stopped cussing like, I don't know, like a year ago or something like that. Okay. And now, present day, you're trying to work on your cursing. And that person is like, hey, watch me, oh, I just heard what you said. Don't say that. More so, yeah. Because if they're still doing it, then yeah, there's no, I don't like that. But yes.
You go first because I'm gonna go on the other side. Like, you go first. I'm gonna go on the other side of that.
I can listen to that person then because you got a testimony that you've been through something.
Come on, testimony.
Because now you've been through something that I can listen to. But if you still doing the same thing, I'm not listening to it. But I'm really amped to listen to you if I know you used to do it and you came from that. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people like to talk and say a lot of things that they've never done. And now you just testing your theories out on me. So, and I can't work on that. You know what I mean? Yeah, because you've never proven none of it to yourself. So I can't believe nothing you're saying until you actually show me. So
I'm gonna flip that. So I'm gonna flip that. First, I agree you should be nobody's guinea pig. I want to put that on the record. Second, I do think that there's power in somebody who's currently climbing the mountain though, who's currently like who hasn't made it to the peak, so they don't have the testimony because they haven't gotten up there. They weren't Moses. They didn't go up there and come back down to tablets yet. Like,
I guess I gotta see it. No.
Oh, okay.
I guess I gotta see that though.
And that's fair, but how can you how can you see it if he's just like, or she's just like, or they are just like, yeah, I mean, I'm done with the whole cheating thing, and then next thing you know, like they're just back in it, and it's just like it's a constant like that. And cheating probably isn't the best example. Cussing is probably a better example. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, I'm done, but then
something not so heavy.
Fair. Like I'm done, but then like I stubbed my toe, like, and now I'm cussing again, and it's like I don't know, like I don't like.
I like that. I like that balance because I think that's the perfect description of almost what my attempt to do this right with Tess is that vulnerability is a superpower. You know what I mean? Because yeah, we can. So definitely, we looking at the people down the line who've accomplished it, but what we love to see the people that are documenting the journey of this is what's going on. We love looking back at people's origin stories, and I think when we get the opportunity to see that vulnerability in real time, I think there is a difference from somebody who's like telling you to do something and they're kind of like, I feel like maybe how Bryce is getting at, if they're disingenuous. And in my opinion, I feel like you can generally tell when somebody has a ulterior motive for telling you something. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people don't be disingenuous. They mean well, and they'll give the good advice.
Okay. Yeah. I feel you.
But they still never tested it. You know what I mean? All good intentions don't mean they're good. You know what I mean?
That's facts.
Yeah, and I guess he helped me kind of get my thought clear with the first question I asked, that got us here. Versus, like, I'm not talking about someone who's indulging, right, in something. Indulgence, you ain't trying to get better, you ain't trying to X, Y, Z. You might know better, but you indulging, you don't care. I don't want to listen to you, right? I guess more so like, yeah, how, like, is it easy or difficult for you to not help someone struggle against them while they're still trying to help you become better as well? If that makes sense. I guess that's better than. That's a better way. It's tough. Again, if we're both cursing, but like I'm saying, like I want to stop cursing, I want to stop cursing, and I'm cursing a little bit less every day, and then I hear you curse, and I'm like, hey, watch your mouth. How are you gonna receive that? Because I'm not trying to do it like a, hey, I hear you, but like I'm trying to encourage you as well. While I'm also trying to work on it, huh? Okay, that's what I was trying to get at.
That's different between accountability, though. Like I feel like that's a level of accountability you can have, and if you are both moving towards the same objective, those is team. Hey, don't forget, y'all got the muffins down here too. Oh, yeah, we got some.
We just talking about balance.
Had fruit in the muffin,
Yeah, I got you.
Why are you angry? If they're both trying to, you're both trying to get better.
Because I just got called out. Like I feel ashamed, and my response to shame is anger. I'm embarrassed, and my response to embarrassment is anger. My response is like, actually, now you can fuck off. Like, yeah. Like,
why does it lead to shame and not conviction?
That's a really great question. I think personally, I have not parsed out the difference between shame and conviction, and I understand that I've been taught, but it has not been massaged onto my heart that like conviction is coming from God and shame is coming from the devil. Embarrassment and like anything that is not steeped in love is not coming from God. These are things that I can spit it to you.
Like it makes sense.
And
but
it
it's
makes
just not
sense,
here.
but it hasn't been written on my heart just yet. Like it's not graffitied on that bad boy just yet. It's not a piece of art.
You said anything not sent from God is not love.
Basically. So like so he had asked me why is my response shame and not conviction, and I said that personally I haven't been able to massage onto my heart that conviction is coming from God and shame is coming from the devil. Anything that is coming from love is coming from God. Anything that is not is coming from the devil. And these are things that I can articulate and I can understand and I can regurgitate back to you, but it just hasn't hit right here for me to then be able to like it's like God's spirit is in us and all of these components are in us and it's in me, but it hasn't poured through me, so now it can't come out of me. So like it's something I can say and something I can believe.
Can we stay here? Can we just stay
Sure.
here for just a second?
Just a second.
I'm with it. I'm with
Okay, it's a okay. Define conviction. Define shame. We finna talk.
Do I have a definition? Do I have a you dropped something, bro. Can you pick that up for bro? Conviction. So do I have definitions for these things off rip? No, do you?
I was just gonna add something like to
Caleb in the game.
to that example right there, cussing, because like you could say, okay, I'll stop cussing, right?
Yeah, we double up now, shawty.
I could be
Double
a,
cup, shawty.
You could be a friend. Your friend could say, okay, okay, that's what's up. They could say like, okay, that's what's up. I support you not cussing, but like that friend may still be cussing. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like even though I decide to stop cussing, I can't like make this person stop
No,
cussing.
I mean, in the context of you're both trying not to.
Okay,
So
yeah,
they
that's
both
different.
have
Yeah,
agreed.
yeah.
Yeah, you like
Okay,
you
that's
and another
different,
person have decided we're gonna not do.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
but I think-
I don't know what a booty is.
Okay.
I guess the only thing I say is like
Oh,
to the
I'm
point
ready
of
for
shame.
you. I just didn't know if you had it in your head already. I was ready. I was ready.
I had to do my research.
No, I was gonna say like shame, like you can't like make somebody intentionally like make somebody feel bad. Like you can like guide them, because like to your point, like God is gonna still love you and not like he may like put you in timeout for a little bit, put you over here, but he's not gonna like make you feel bad about it. You know, like I don't know that fully explain it either. Like
No,
this.
you good. I'm gonna let him. He got like. I'm gonna take this one. I'm gonna let. I'm
Go
gonna
ahead.
let you,
Okay. I didn't want to hear them definitions, and then I did have something to say.
I did look him up.
You want to hear him first?
Yeah,
wanna go?
yeah, because like I feel like in discourse, you know what I'm saying, in rhetoric, debate, whatever we want to call it,
Yeah.
it's always important. I know this is very Aristotelic and whatnot, you know, Plato and all that. Right. All that white people nonsense, you know what I'm saying? But I think there is a benefit to putting out definitions before we dive into conversations
Well,
related.
two things. One, I agree that like nobody can make you feel anything. It's just a projection of what you're already feeling. So I wanted to acknowledge that. Two, I'm gonna give this definition that I looked up, and then you can give whatever definitions that you have. That cool?
Yeah.
It's don't take too long because then I'm gonna forget what I got to say.
Like you gotta hold on to it. Just repeat it in your head, okay? I'm repeating a bunch of things in my brain. Okay, so
That's what strategy.
shame. Thanks. Shame is a painful feeling of humiliation or distress caused by the consciousness of wrong or foolish behavior. Conviction, according to a dictionary, is the formal declaration that someone is guilty of a criminal offense, or like a verdict of a jury, a firmly held belief or opinion. The biblical definitions that popped up
There we go.
were like, for the Christian, conviction is designed to bring about confession, repentance, and
Yeah.
renewal in their
Yeah.
relationship with God.
Yeah.
I should have looked up shame in the biblical sense, but I feel like it would be similar.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I feel shamed? Because literally because of that humiliation that I was wrong. It feels I have this nickname when I was a child called the do-right baby, and like my mother and my aunt and my sister all ask me, what does that mean? And I'm like, well, I'm the do-right baby. That means I can only do right and I can never do wrong. And I'm a child with this firmly held belief that I can only do right and I can never do wrong. And so for me, wrong is literally outside of my nature, outside of me, the name that I was given, which was the do-right baby. So like, so something like it. So it was very much challenging for me to try to even undo that. And even to this day, like if I'm wrong about a prediction, even something I had no knowledge of, I was just making. I was a chance. It's 30%. Flip a coin. I said tails. Bad boy came up heads. I'm upset. Like there's no control over that. And so like even like that, it's just like dang, like I was wrong. But it's just like that's okay. With conviction, I guess I think it's about how I'm being checked. Like with the chill out, it'd be like, okay, chill out, bring it back to God. Like show me that this is like coming from God.
Right.
Because if you just telling me like chill out, now it feels like you're not trying to convict me. You are trying to shame me,
Right.
or you are trying to evoke the
There's
feelings
no
of shame
alternative.
that I have inside of me, instead of promoting the feeling of conviction and
Yeah.
returning back to God.
Yeah.
That process.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't give you an opportunity to share the definitions.
I'm listening.
All right, cool. Did you got something to say over there?
I
All right.
do,
All right.
and like I feel like I went through this last night with a very good friend of mine. It just happens to be a girl, and it's funny because like she texted me not too long ago. She dealing with some emotions right now, and like able to console with her in a way. So, with this breakup that I'm going through, like I found myself like on the brink of relapse, like getting back to some old bad habits. You know what I'm saying? And like I remember like when that first was starting to arise, and like I told her like this was weeks ago. I was like, hey, I need you to check me. If ever I communicate with you, I'm about to be back on some BS, because like I know myself and I know like what I'm capable of if I'm not in a healthy space and not like using the proper strategies in those cases. And so as soon as I told her, she was like, now listen, I'm only saying this because you told me to. You want some BS right now? You need to chill out.
Yeah, that is real.
And so, for real, I appreciate it for real. And so, like, well, going to what you were saying, like way back, Albany. By the way, I appreciate your like any amount of vulnerability that you express, like to me in conversations that we've had, and then just in general, like when I see you around people, like I don't know how like you internalize things that you may interpret as like a setback for a season, but like for me, I always see it as a point of triumph for you, and like I'm always rooting for you. So like whenever I hear from you about this and that, I'm just like, it's amazing that you like. First of all, you were still alive.
Thank you, bro.
And that you choose life, and that you welcome joy. You know what I'm saying? And like not joy that like that absolves or doesn't deal with pain, but lives with both of those things at the same time.
Thanks, bro.
For real, for sure. So like earlier when you were speaking about not knowing like whether this is like a point of shame or conviction, like I wonder like if in general for any of us, like whenever we go through that, or if it was just you specifically, if you wanted to think of it that way, I wonder if that comes from like our heart's like having like muscle memory. You know what I'm saying? Like we're thinking of the heart as like an organ or as a muscle. We've been like conditioned to associate shame with like
Wrong.
right, shame with wrong, or shame with like getting quote unquote called out. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like really not only learning, because like for those of us like grew up in Christian homes or whatever, like we know the language, we know the Christianese, you know what I'm saying? We know what the Bible says about like forgiveness, unconditional love, and all those things. And like sometimes we don't even trust God to do those things. Like, oh, I'm so ashamed, and I know God is making me feel shame, so I'm not even going to come up there and be like, hey man, I was on, okay. This is a confession, going back to that definition of conviction, right? So I wonder like what it would take for us to create new schemas and create that muscle memory of connecting conviction to love, or rightly defining like what is conviction versus what is shame. I wonder what that would take. Hopefully, any of that made sense.
No, I was saying it makes sense.
Oh, okay, I'm just trying to hold this.
Or connecting accountability to love.
There it is. There it is. That's what I was trying to get at.
That's self love right there, though. Accountability, like self discipline.
We got two mics, so like.
I said it's like self discipline. It's like self love. You know, you love yourself more when you hold yourself accountable, and when people hold you accountable, you associate that with them loving you. You get what I mean?
A lot of people don't. Though.
Right.
Well, but this is the thing. Everybody can fall off the cliff. You know that analogy. You know what I mean? And if you're telling me to fall off the cliff with you, that ain't love. You know, but if you stopping me from doing what everybody else is jumping off the cliff doing, that means I don't want to see you hurt. You get what I mean? That's how I do it.
Yeah, and that, to your point, I think we just grow used to people not doing that. So, and with the parts we get used to hiding,
They cheer for you when you winning,
yeah,
but you look like food then, because you know every time you winning, they can eat off you.
we talked about it. And then they don't want to hold you accountable because they don't.
Then they miss out on their food.
Yeah.
They can't eat if they hold you accountable because you might shun them or push them away, or you might, you know what I'm saying? You might not still give them what they want to get from you.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that point, that goes back to the conversation of. Oh, yeah. Almost that. My arm ain't that long. Anyway, y'all didn't help me out either. Y'all just watched me struggle. Right.
Crazy part is I had a mic. I was finna lean forward, but you was already committed, bro.
See, look, that's the problem with these friendships.
Yeah.
Just gonna watch me struggle. Here for my triumph, but not my trials. Anyway, but like I think that goes back to the idea of defining what your friendship is and what your expectations are and who is actually your friend. This had to be a conversation for a different time, but especially like dealing with white people, like after going, you know, being because like this is like the quickest example I can find. Like, and everyone has had that moment, like when, or two kind of moments. One, when you realize you black, and two, you realize that like how real racism is like all around you. And so when I got to that ladder, I figured out real quick which white people were not actually my friends. Like when something like a Trayvon Martin happened, or you know Philando Castile, and you know what I'm saying, you name it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dang, like I was breaking bread with these dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like I thought we was doing life, right?
I'm not even trying to. No, bro,
But turns out,
Go there with it.
but turns out,
Yeah,
I'm
I got tired today.
But just real quick. I'm just saying that to say, because I can share stories all day, so I'm gonna let you get off. So all that to say is, I started to realize like, oh, we're actually not friends. We were just cool about that one thing at that one time. We had a nice little conversation, or
We had something in common.
right, or I'm your friend, but you're not my friend.
That part.
You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't never been to my house, but you've invited me to your house all the time.
why does it matter that they your friend?
So that was the issue I had to deal with. That was the issue. I had to deal with loneliness. I had to deal with rejection. I had to deal with self-doubt.
And that comes from self-improvement. It's not about nobody else but yourself.
It was a lot, bro. Like, and the more I think about it, like, the more I had to reach back into my childhood and situations I went through.
He got something to say.
She did a lot of movement over there.
I don't agree with that. In this context, to be honest with you, like I'm gonna say something mad prejudiced, mad controversial, but like with white people in particular, if you are not doing the work, I
Facts.
refuse to put that on me. I refuse to
Facts.
say that that's on me. I refuse to say that it has anything to do with me,
Oh.
because like let's be real, bro. Like I really thought like this is how things happen. We come, we have a good conversation, we have a good connection, we have a good time out. We do this together, we do that together. You invite me here, you invite me there. Like that is how friendships are built and relationships and connections are built. But you're still in all of this as a white individual. You are still looking at me as if I am only a Jezebel. I'm only an angry black woman. I am only the magical Negro, the third caricature that I forgot in this moment. But like, the token, like
you only. Let me break it down for you, my nigga. So like, it's a trope that happens a lot in like novels and whatnot, or like in storytelling, that is centered around white people and whiteness. Who you get writers who like suck at diversifying their stories. So like the only time they bring in black people is only for utility, and like sometimes that comes in the form of like them possessing like magical powers or sometimes special knowledge and wisdom. Like, did you have to read Huckleberry Finn in high school or anything like that? So Jim, right?
I don't remember it that vividly though.
That's because the story sucked anyway. But long story short, like black people existing solely for the purposes of elevating white people and their stories. That's the magical Negro. Mm-hmm.
So he's basically like how they say that token Negro.
Yep.
That shine or whatever.
And he side
Yeah.
character.
Stand out.
Then think about Incredibles, Frozone, right?
Right.
He a side character.
Side nigga.
He decided, even though we all of the where's my super suit, like that's the he's still the side.
He doesn't even get his
You
own
feel?
story.
He doesn't. That's the main thing. They don't get their own stories. They just elevate. They're the like the game changer for the scene. Because when Frozone came in, it's like, oh shit, my nigga in here. But it's like, oh, but we don't know anything about his family. Like the whole story has been about this white family, and now all of a sudden, literally the magic Negro has appeared. You feel me? So that's black women were absent.
You can see her face.
So.
He going through.
I'm gonna say conviction shame real quick because I feel it. The easiest way I can explain conviction to someone is that voice in your head, where it's the Lord saying, "Hey, I know what you did, but I love you, and I have this for you instead." But if it's cursing,
And stop doing it.
I got these words for you instead. I love you no less, but this is what I have for you. I have better for you over here.
Yeah.
Shame is, God probably hates you because you did that.
Right.
God can't stand you because you did that. God knew you was gonna do it, and He don't want you because of it. That's shame.
You'll never be able to recover.
You'll never be able to recover from this. This is who you are.
What'd you say?
Yeah, I say the same thing. Like, don't pray. He don't want to hear from you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't talk.
Yeah.
Don't hit your homie up. They try to isolate you.
Right.
Shame will tell you this is who you are. Conviction says this is what you did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you're not what you did. You will never be what you did. I don't care who out there will tell you that God knows you and He wants you. And if you're in Christ, He sees Jesus before He sees your sins.
Mm.
I'm not. And I'm sure you know that already. But that is conviction. I see you. I do know what you did. I don't like it, and I don't want you to do it again. But here's also an alternative for you. This is what I have for you. And shame is just gonna beat you down.
Right, and that personal conviction can even be like, I know this is wrong, and I want to do better because I want to not only feel better, I want to be better, and because I love you, God, or even on the friendship tip, like, oh, I want to be better for you because I love you, and I want this relationship to be healthy and fruitful and last, as opposed to shame, where it's like, yeah, we ain't gonna bounce back from this, so we might. It just is what it is, you know what I'm saying?
Teach you to indulge more, right?
Right.
Say you already gone too far. Keep
Might as
going.
well.
Right.
Yeah.
Might as well.
Yeah. Might as well.
You can go crazy.
Oh. Okay. What we talking about? We talking about white people? I'm not re-traumatized.
I see you going through all of it.
In advance.
No, you literally go to all the stages right now. I see it in your face.
We're in the same circle, so I know.
So me and him, we used to lead this organization. We were some of the servant leaders of the organization called the Impact Movement on Ball State's campus. It was a Ball State's like chapter or whatever. It's a national, really a global organization. And our goal is to build black disciples of Christ. Black people, build them into disciples. We love it. We love everybody. But we understand that, especially in this country, in this world in general, there's a need, like black people need to be focused on still, because everybody else one is dead. Don't care about us, don't love us. So we have to love ourselves. We had to come to terms with that my freshman year, but that's another story for another day. Probably some whitewash I had to get rid of.
Bro,
But-
speak.
We led Bible studies, and we had a men's group or a men's Bible study of leaders, and we also partnered with this organization called Crew. More people have probably heard of Crew. It's a big campus ministry, but it was about as white as you can get.
Man.
And I didn't know these dudes was racist till we started. Like, I want to say was that was 2016.
It's always
I hate
fun
to say it like this, but who was it in 2016?
It was a couple of people.
I mean, I hate to say it that way, but like,
It was
there
a
was
couple of
specific
people.
death
No,
that
2016,
had it all riled up again.
2016 may have
Was
been.
it for Orlando? No, Mike Brown was 14.
No, that was 2014.
Mike Brown was 14. I
So
think
that
Trayvon
may have
Martin
been
was
like
14
that may have
as
been
well.
Philando.
It may have been Orlando.
That may have been Alton Sterling. No, Brianna was 2020. Sandra Bland
Maybe
might
it
have
was
been Sandra
Sandra.
Bland.
Somebody, right? Too many to
Right.
unfortunately say their names,
That's
but like
sad.
it's hard to remember them
Right.
for real. And we just we're Monday after Monday after Monday, we're just educating these dudes, and it's on stuff that it's like I didn't even realize this didn't click for you.
Right.
Finding out these dudes used to grow up saying nigga, saying nigger, growing up. Remember Caden? We had a dude who literally he was so ignorant to his privilege. He looks white, but his last name was like Rodriguez or something. And he would literally talk about, yeah, man, I just use my my Mexican side when I want to get scholarships, to do X, Y, and Z. And we're looking at him, and we're like, bro, do you not understand? Like, I don't get to wake up and just choose what I get to be.
Well, I ain't gonna be like
I don't get to do that. And these are people who are leading Christians, who are leading believers of in Christ.
identify as white.
And so, like, I found myself having to explain just what it meant to be a human to people who I thought knew it just as well as I did,
Right.
but they just don't. They just
No.
don't. And so, some of them got it. I didn't expect everyone of them to get it, and they all didn't. And we still fight those battles today. But it was very disheartening knowing that I've been doing ministry with these people, and I've been thinking I'm on the
Right.
same mission as them. Which I mean, in the
Right.
grand scheme of things, we all want everyone to come to Christ. Cool. But like just in the grand schemes of social justice and just making sure everyone actually is being treated like a human being, I
Right.
didn't realize how far we were
Can I say
and
something?
how much how far they had to go.
So I got things
That's
to
a
say.
very
Go
short
ahead.
summary of what we dealt with that year.
Right, bro, ain't spoken a minute.
I'm gonna be like super short too, but like the thing that made me like really realize how bad it is like when you think about it, like, we really kind of I don't know, we different ages, but like the Civil Rights Act was like in this like 64 or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So like we damn near like the first generation, maybe second generation, like really have full equal quote unquote rights.
Right.
Like on paper,
Right. It's a. Let me say this real
bro.
quick
Go
to,
ahead,
to
bro.
give you some space, Albany.
Yeah.
So, like at that point, it's like you question. Well, I'll put it like this: it's two things. It's gonna sound like I'm saying the same thing, but it's different. Okay. So, the idea of a black friend to them, you were just their black friend, but they didn't know what it actually means to have a black friend. Does that make sense?
So, in your opinion, what do it mean to have a black friend
To me, it knows that
for a white person?
right for white people, it means that you know the histories that have brought us to this point, and not just the history that we celebrate, but also like the dark side of it too. Like, you know that race is a social construct used to define a social class and like who's in what
The
levels. Thank you.
inferior.
Right. It's for them to realize the privilege. It's for them to realize the struggle that we go through, and not just on the nigga sense. Like, oh, this person called me a nigger, but also, like, if you in a car with me and we get pulled over, you should know out the gate like how I'm gonna start feeling. You shouldn't be saying, "Oh, just calm down. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay."
Keep driving.
Right. Right. Like, nigga, what? Right. Like for instance, one time, like, and I was just joking with somebody. This is white girl I was friend with back in college. Long story short, we was at it was like a pizza joint or something like that. A couple firemen come in. And like I just started joking. I was like, "Oh man, I thought that was the cops for a second." I was getting all nervous. That's what I'm telling her. I'm like, I'm getting all nervous. She's like, "What do you mean? Like they're nice people." No, not only does she say that to like gaslight me, but like also goes out of her way to go speak to them. She's like, "My friend is scared of y'all." I'm like, "What are you doing?" Like, you know what I'm saying? And this is in Anderson, not too far from Ball State.
Oh, no,
Right.
he was in like Yorktown or something.
Oh,
You
okay.
must have been. You said you wasn't from Ball State.
No, I'm saying like I was in Anderson, not too far from Ball State.
Oh, you
like
were
we
in
about to,
Anderson. Okay, I got you.
yeah, cats used to come up there and party all the time on the weekends. But that's another story. But so I don't know people in this town. You know what I'm saying? This ain't my city. Right. Like, why would you put me on blast like that in front of all these white people? Right. I already stand out just walking in, but now you're gonna call me out. Yeah. And so the fire department dude, the fireman was like, well, I don't know why he feels like he needs to be scared. So he's talking about me without talking to me in my presence. Right. I'm like side-eyeing the mess out of this girl. Like, why would you do something like that? I would like, so with that friendship comes the expectation that like, I should be able to be at least somewhat vulnerable with you about things pertaining to my blackness.
And you should want to use your privilege to assist. Like,
Right.
I think it's all of those things and me not having to do those things for you. So y'all having to get up there in front of all of these white Christian leaders and saying, actually, we bleed too. And it's red. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's insane to me. It's also my realization of blackness and my realization that racism was a real thing kind of happened at the same time. When I came home from school and was like, yeah, of course the white people are superior. Like, they saved us from ourselves. Like, we were over there just being savages in Africa, and then they brought us over here as like slaves.
And that's what they be telling us.
And that's what they like taught. And I'm going home and I'm telling my family this. Like, this was I'm like a child.
And you thought
like,
you was talking your piece.
I thought, man, I was in there. I was like, because I'm doing it because I'm a smart person. So I'm like I've always just been a studious individual. And so like, I'm like in this curriculum, and this is what I'm getting from it. Like, my history always starts in slavery.
Right.
They brought us over here because they were saving us from ourselves. That's essentially the message that was being provided.
Right.
And so in that moment, not only like I knew I was black when I was in fifth grade, not fifth grade, when I was 5, thanks to like my auntie. But like in this moment, I knew I was black. Yeah. And then I knew that racism was a thing. And like and I am a child. And so you're telling this child who is black that like you were inherently less than, and you always will be. But thanks to us, thanks to your proximity to whiteness, you can get
thanks to your proximity to whiteness.
Like you can get that much closer to actually being a human. You were never human until you get like as close to whiteness as you can be without doing what Michael Jackson did. Like, I mean, it's just like
right.
And it's crazy. And so like I'm gonna say this, and it's controversial, but I've been controversial all night from the snacks to now, and it's like you say word. Oh, you wasn't here for the snacks, bro. So
You wasn't here for the snacks. You got hate.
It almost was beef.
It's all love here.
my belief in white people is really small. Like, it's really, really small. And I use belief because I don't have another term, because like your belief should really just be in God. Like, God is who your belief should like be holistically and almost like exclusively. Sure, trust.
You definitely gotta prove you're not racist.
For sure, you are racist until proven otherwise.
It's even more than that. Like, you can't just be I forget who said it.
Anti-racist. You have to prove that you're anti-racist.
Toni Morrison or something like that.
I don't know.
I can't. No, Angela Davis. That's what it was. I think that's what it was.
And you gotta be willing to admit that you have privilege. White folk be wanting to not acknowledge the fact that they have privilege. Look, bro, it's 2024. I'm not gonna be pissed off at you for what happened all those years ago. You were not here. I was not here. But what you're not about to do is act like you're not in the position you're in, or your family or someone you know that don't look like me is not systemically in a better position than me because of how because we look differently. Just admit the privilege, please.
You want to know that's hard though, because there's no more middle class right now. So now it's even like harder, where people are actually like but I really don't have the privilege. Like, if I don't get the scholarship, like, it's hard for me too. And I can see that from a point of like the capitalist portion of our society.
Right.
But like,
But socially, y'all got it.
This is y'all's
Y'all
country.
got it.
Cause like even when
Like y'all got it.
just real quick, even with saying like, and like I'm right there with you. Cause even with saying like, oh yeah, I can't like blame you for something that happened like decades, centuries ago. At the same time, you still live here comfortably on stolen land,
bro,
and you ain't doing nothing about it.
and still trying to steal the rest of the land.
And still trying to keep other illegal
While doing land
trying to
acknowledgments.
keep illegal immigrants out the country. My boy, how did we get here?
Right.
Y'all came here and stole people's land.
Speaking of inconsistencies and call people out, like when they're being what's the word we were talking about? Like not like backsliding. What's that word? Just inconsistent. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all know the term. Help me out. It's like you say one thing. Hypocrisy. Yeah, the hypocrisy is
when
real.
you said back, I was like,
Thank you for that. Thank you as well. That was it. That's all.
okay.
Kelly was about to say something.
Yeah, I was gonna like kind of say because I was gonna bring it up earlier, then you brought it up in a different way, and this is kind of like controversial almost. But like, at what point do we like not care as much? Like, if they be because I feel like you know how this system is. Like, we don't own, like, we don't dominate. We don't like own any major companies, or dominate any industries, like, or own any mass portion of the land. So like, at what point do we say, okay, let's be more advocate for ourselves and build for our own, and you know, and not even that, like, yeah, that would be nice, but even if it's like here, you know, like this, because think about America, like, you can open an LLC, do all this and that, so it's like we could like even basic stuff like water, like running water, like we don't own any utility companies, like we don't own none of this, like. So like,
I know he's about to talk about it.
so at what point do we like kind of stop depending on them to provide all of this stuff and be our friend, and we say, okay, like, we got expertise, we got, like, everybody in this room has a different type of expertise, everybody in this room has different connections. So at what point do we leverage that and then stop depending on them to provide some of this for us? I know you just
I'm just piggybacking off what you said, because I know I was going with the self-love thing.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I don't care what you think of me. You know what I mean? I got enough self-respect for myself to not deal with that. You know what I mean? That's setting boundaries and everything. So the people that frequent me are the people that can tolerate me, because if you step out of boundary, I'm going to check you on it. Like, I address elephants in the room. So the people who deal with me are the people who are able to.
No, facts. And so I knew it, because that's what I'm saying. My boyfriend, he straight to it, you know what I mean? And so, and even with the conversation, like Kelly talking about, it is always the pivot between the balance between personal response. You said what? Oh yeah, but that's the tough thing is, even with the personal responsibility versus the systems, right? It's always this balance of like, okay, when we have attempted to build our own things as well, we consistently get shut down by white supremacy, whether that be through their active actions or through their generational curriculum of self-hatred, to where we don't trust another person that looks like us to build with. We suspicious of them. You feel me? So it's like, it's always this balance of like, yeah, let's try to find other action, and also look at, it's real powers that stop us consistently from, like, you know, the whole history behind the Black Wall Street, right? They was flourishing and they bombed their joints. You feel me? It was up, you know what I mean? So it's like, in times we've attempted to do it, we've been held back. And it's like, yeah, we do gotta hold intention, the personal responsibility, like, okay, we gotta keep moving. We got, you know what I'm saying, always forward type. But at the same time, realize, like, it's reasons why people can't progress, because it wasn't an opportunity. When they did have the opportunity, it got shot down. So yeah, they burned this shit down.
Like, we have to be excellent at both. We have to be excellent at radical black love and us loving ourselves. Because for generations, we have, not that we haven't been doing that, the systems have radically worked against us to prevent us from doing that and to keep us from doing that. Right. And deter us from doing that too. Even giving us the distractions of like, oh, please sell somebody bootstraps, the distraction of get it for yourself and right. Exactly. All those have been distractions that are individualistic mindsets when we don't come from that. We come from collectivism. We come from, our tribes, you know what I'm saying? And so both have to like be tackled at the same time. Don't get me wrong, like there should be a healthy space for like that personal responsibility of like, yeah, I'm responsible for my own actions. And then a part of that needs to be, well, the reason why we have to be good at both because like we still talk with these white people in this country. Let's be honest. You know what I'm saying? And like, I would be remiss if I ever let white people get one on me, especially if they're in relationship with me and I haven't communicated like this is what I expect from you. Yeah. Like you don't talk to me this way. You don't talk about me in this way. Mm-hmm. This is what I'm on. If you ain't on it, hey, you guys to go. You guys to step.
Why are they so comfortable?
Right. And the less that we advocate for ourselves, the more that they think that everything they do is cool. So like that's why for so long, no, I won't say it like that. But for so long, white people have been getting away with this mess in this country without recompense. Mm-hmm. And you know what I'm saying, to the point where like we have to individually pay to even know who we are. Yeah. We have to pay money.
Talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Right. Oh,
to figure out.
Right. So what I did, I did a GoFundMe and I was like, no, y'all about to pay me to find out where I came from because this information was stolen from me. I'm not paying for something that's stolen. That's rightfully mine, inherently mine, at a basic level. I'm not even asking for something extra. This is basic knowledge. My last name ain't my last name. Carter is not my last name. You know what I'm saying? That's a name that was branded on my family. So, and that's a very basic thing. What's your first name? What's your last name? You know what I'm saying? I'm not asking for much. You know what I'm saying? Not that I'm asking for like concessions of reparations. No, I'm asking for it all. I want that damn 40 acres and a mule. You know what I'm saying? Give me my mule. But what am I trying to say? So, I think to answer your question, like, and I think what the big, and like, listen, I don't know if I'm by myself on this one. I'm gonna talk my talk, okay? Given this country that we live in, it's not working well for anybody. I mean, yes, it's definitely working well for white people, but only certain types of white people. You know what I'm saying? Rich white males, right? But like, I feel like one of the up to a certain point, we still haven't had a white female president. We still haven't had a white female vice president. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's up to a certain point. Don't get me wrong, but they've been duped. You know what I'm saying? They're thinking they about to get theirs. They still ain't really got it.
People copy off of black women. White women copy off of black women. So
Right. So like, oh my bad. I feel like the best solution is like, Christ and His return and the rapture and all that. You know what I'm saying? But like until we get there, I feel like probably one of the best options is we all get paid to pack it up and just head on to Africa or something like that on some Marcus Garvey time. Don't get me wrong. There are some complications with that. Don't get me wrong. I understand. Like I understand like there's some complications with that, and like we don't want to repeat what white people have done to us over there. And don't get me wrong, they have their own brand of reparations that they need to receive as well. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying.
In an ideal world.
Yeah. So I guess for now, what I'll concede with is that we need to unite all black people across the diaspora that's here in the Americas. So like black folks, Haitians, Caribbean folk, you know what I'm saying? Puerto Ricans, Dominicans. All of them.
And I think the main thing I was just trying to say is like, maybe, I don't want to put words for you, I'll speak for me, but like get out of a victim mentality. Just get out of everything's happening to me and just figuring a way out. I know there's things that happen to you, but there are also things that you can do about it. Instead of just being like giving all the power to another person because this is what happened to me and this is what it is, that loses all control over your life. You have some degree of control. Life is a direct result of your choices. So your choices, you get what I mean? So like things like you were talking about, building certain infrastructures and certain things, or like I was telling you, side conversation, just but like with jobs, using it as a stepping stone towards something in your dream. You get what I mean?
Yeah, I wanted to say back to what he said. Like instead of saying what happened to me, I say it happened for me. You feel me? Like when I look at my life, she know like everything that bad happened to me, it turned me into the best version of me I can be. It hurt it, but it made me the best version. You feel me? And I love it. I wouldn't take it no other way. So when I walk into a room, people feel that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and white people too. Like probably like a couple nights ago, I'm a truck driver, so I had got stuck in the mud. You feel me? I had tried to drive in the grass and back up, but it was raining, so it was muddy. And the white people that own the company that I did it with, they expected me to, I guess, walk my head down and say I'm sorry and all that. I apologize, but I'm not finna say I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? And when I walked in there, I could just tell, like, they like, you know what I'm saying? It was just my energy. I walk with my head up, my chest out. You feel me? I feel like that's how we supposed to do it. You know, they didn't took our strength from us. They done made us docile and weak, or made us at least think we are. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like once we get back to that, then we'll be able to put ourselves in a better position. You feel me? Yeah. Yeah.
I got a question about that.
I was gonna say, just big on saying, like, I hear that, like, big on saying I apologize or my condolences versus I'm sorry, because we're not sorry people. And like when you take the what are they called, contraction, when you take that out, you say, hey, I am sorry. We're not sorry. I apologize for my actions. I'm not gonna tell you I'm sorry. It was actually my girlfriend's grandmother who like started to instill that in me. So I just recently said that, like, started saying over the last year, but like it matters though. I'm not telling you I'm sorry. I'm gonna apologize. I'm gonna keep it pushing with my head up.
This was an action.
Because it is different. Exactly.
I like that.
I'm so sorry. No, I'm not. I apologize. I'm deeply saddened by my actions. I'm not gonna apologize. I'm not gonna say I'm sorry. It just hit like, you know, it just hit different.
That's why I get into I apologize for what I said. But I mean, I apologize for hurting your feelings, but I meant what I said.
Right.
That's tough.
Ask me a question real quick. My bad. Listen. Okay. So I feel everything y'all saying. And I think it's important that like we are able to build ourselves up and build each other up simultaneously, and not keep on having to knock on that door of whiteness and be like, hey, can we, you know, right. But like, I guess the question I would pose to challenge that is like, at what point does the alternative of that suggest that we are dependent on the white man's ways of achieving success?
So I think it depends on like how well we educate ourselves to go back and look at what does success look like for us. Because it is really easy to adopt the white man's way because that's all that we're ever really taught. Like we have to make the effort to go out and educate ourselves about something different. I was over here in my brain trying to think about how we could bring it back to like surviving the test, and all I can really think about is like surviving the test of racism. Because we are here for the song, the listening party. But as you can see, we didn't graduate it to varying levels. And so I wanted to like bring that back because racism is gonna be for all of us, unfortunately, like a battle for the rest of our lives and for our beautiful Black children's lives. And so how can we continue to adopt this mantra, but then also equip ourselves in the best ways? I'm gonna pass it back to you for that.
First off, give yourselves a hand. You feel me? 'Cause, I mean, out the gate, to me, it's not as much about this is what the whole purpose of why I'm trying to build spaces like this, because I want it to be beyond just the music, right? Really, I'm not gonna downplay it, but the song is cool, what I want to create more spaces like this where we just having real conversation, you know what I mean? And it evolves into we can actually look at the tests that collectively we're facing, right? Because I mean, at first, that's why I'm trying to come in so you understand, like, you have individual tests you going through, but also wants to see, like, yeah, we're all going through tests together, and like we here, you know what I mean? So I just want to thank y'all out the like for real, thanks for pulling up to the party. Cause I know my brother's got a dip here. My brother and Bryce. Dang, it's 5:40. Dang, it's 5. That's crazy. So yeah, I ain't know that. So real quick, I want.
I might eat it at some point, you know.
Yeah. I just want to share the story I wanted to share with Tess, right? Right in the song. Actually, did I play it for y'all? I probably didn't play it for y'all, but I play it after because he got to bounce. Tess, right? I talked about low times could have died. Most high hand on me. I talked about my ex wanted Tesla. It was back to back 12s warehouse set in. Back finna break back. You know what I'm saying? I talked about just a lot of the situations that were particular tests in my life. But the reason I bring this rock out, you feel me? Like, what is you got rock in this house for? You feel me?
The cornerstone.
The cornerstone. That's good. I wasn't even thinking about that. But that actually wasn't what I had for. But when I think about, it was 2 years ago, I mentioned earlier, Malachi helped me move into this house right after I went through divorce, and I came in and I was kind of ducked off for a good, you know what I'm saying, couple months, just trying to get back on my feet. And then I remember I went out for a show. I was performing out at Muncie. And it was a great time. I was feeling like God was kind of just getting back right with me, and showing like just some. I was starting to feel more like I can take the world on. I came back though, and that for me, I know the story. Like my house was broken into, all that, and I was just really going through it. Then, thankfully, so most of my stuff got stolen. Like the whole crib got ran through, all that. And I just felt like, man, God's abandoning me. But after that, we got most of the equipment back besides my TV. But I actually got blessed with another TV. That was from Brittany and Alvin. They weren't able to make it tonight. But then after that, I went out to a show in town, just trying to clear my mind, get in better spirits. I came back, and they had spun the block on me and broke in the second time. And I walked into the dude, was in my kitchen cooking meatloaf, you feel me? And I had, I ran him out. I was down the street. Yeah, it was crazy.
With the food that you just got, too.
You feel me? Yeah, with my own meat, you know what I mean? And so it was a situation where he was bleeding and all that because my neighbor had shot him. And both my bedroom window was bashed in, that window in the kitchen was bashed in, and it was this rock that he used to get in the house.
Wow.
You feel me? And so I went back to the my dog Alvin. He came over, like he made sure the situation straight. I called my brother Frank that night too. He used to kind of help like give me some next steps, directions. But the reason I kept this rock is because, you know, in the Bible and in a lot of our current land that we live in is very abstract about ideas about God, you know what I mean? But to the people in those times, this is something my mentor taught me, they would use very physical objects to remember God, right? So they would say God is rock to me more like God is like a rock, because they were more, because he's solid, right? It's more physical. And so when they experience certain things, they have these things called Ebenezer's, right? So that they're called stones of remembrance. So for me, I just kept this in the crib as one of my stones of remembrance, that like God got me through tests like that. You feel me? And this rock hasn't changed since the dude broke in with it through the window, and since it's been sitting there this whole time in the same way. God has been there for me consistently. And so I just wanted that to be a lifting message to y'all too. Like, no matter what test y'all going through, you can survive it. but also remember like there's a solid rock that's in your corner, you know what I mean? Even when it seems like all is hopeless, or you know what I'm saying, you're kind of questioning your direction. But all in all, that's kind of my main testimony I want to share with y'all. Once again, you feel me? Yeah, 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 thanks for coming out. And if I'm gonna put the rock back. You feel me?
That's like remember that the latest version of the Batman movie that came out, and like bro kept the gun that dude shot his parents with. He put it on the chest piece.
I don't even remember that.
It's crazy.
Okay.
Like a reminder to, I guess, keep going, whatever. Like for me,
Mhm.
sometimes not to, I know y'all gotta go, but for me, I'm from Gary, and it's like I moved out here to get away from it and you know live a better life and stuff like that. But sometimes I go back to remind me why I got to keep going. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, I see what you're saying with that, and what you're saying with the gun. Like sometimes you gotta, when you get too comfortable, you gotta go back to what hurt you to remember why you doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing that too. You feel me? So just to wrap it up, I know y'all got to bounce. You feel me? Thanks for coming. If you want to get a shirt, you can cop one for $20 on Cash App. Anybody interested in getting a shirt? Okay. My Cash App is LJ43 FOR3, and you got a small, right? Yeah, because if it's a men's, yep. So I got the small for you, yeah. And then, did you want one, Caleb? Okay. Yeah, it's.
We are overdue. We gotta stop seeing each other like this on these randoms.
Great to see you, man. Always, man. Much love. Yeah, y'all.
Good to see you, man. Always good to see you. We overdue too, man.
Sorry. Nice to meet you. I'm sorry. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm gonna give you my phone number. I'm gonna get on IG. I don't be on this thing. I don't know the last time I was really on it.
You don't be on the ground no more. I'll restart my account.
I'm gonna follow back though. I don't be on there. Maybe when I'm done with school, bro.
I feel you. No, I feel you. I mean, you on the grind for real. So you focus.
And half the time I get on this thing, bro, I don't know. Well, if I really get to scroll, I'll find some good stuff. But half the time it just be
Be some good. Yeah.
I take a break, but I want to be dead right. You feel me?
You feel me? They don't know. You know what I mean? They don't know. Yeah, make sure you follow each other. Network, like connect, build. Like, don't let this be a one-off thing. You feel me? Like, this was a powerful conversation. It's a powerful conversation. What retreat?
Underground Keys. Yeah, so it's like a
Oh, it's one in March?
yeah, man, this year. We in March. I gave you a like around.
Okay, say less. Okay.
So like, our whole thing is like the community here in Indy.
No, yeah. I'm really thankful for that network too.
Putting this together.
No, yeah, let me know when that is. I got I'm planning stuff in March right now, but we'll make sure I schedule over that. It's such a great conversation, man.
Yeah,
It's such a great conversation.
yeah.
We all there.
March 1st, March 8th, March 15th.
That's my twin.
We share the same birthday.
That's my twin.
Text or call.
Right.
2 hours.